All right, good afternoon, Arkansas. This is Assistant Chief Forecaster Cameron back here once again. I'm here to give you guys a live update on what's going on across the natural state. I was originally planning on doing this right around that 4:15, 4:30 time frame here, but we've got a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings going on. We're getting a lot of questions here, so I just figured it'd be best to just go ahead and do a live stream. That way you guys can kind of get the information while you're here. So we do have a situation I want to talk to you guys about. With 7-4 damaging wind and hail will be your primary risk for today here, and we have a brand new warning I want to talk to you guys about, and this is going to go for down here in the Hot Springs area here. So I'm going to zoom this down, and I'm going to show you guys graphically what's going on here. So once again, a thunderstorm damage threat considerable over here for the Hot Springs area here. This is areas along Interstate 30 and north. All right, so we're just going to go for South Central Perry, Garland, Saline, Northern Hot Spring County, and Eastern Montgomery County until 4:30 this evening. Severe thunderstorms located on the line extending 7 miles south of Adona or near Lake Ouachita State Park, moving southeast at 40 miles per hour. These storms have a history of wind damage and large hail. I cannot stress this enough, everyone, that you need to take these severe thunderstorm warnings seriously, okay? I don't know if what's a funny situation with this or not, but folks, you gotta take these warnings seriously. We have another severe thunderstorm warning, thunderstorm damage threat is considerable over there near Fort Smith as well. We also got storms coming into the metro at this current time here, so just keep that in mind. 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and half-dollar sized hail with this storm as it's pushing off towards the Hot Springs area. So if you don't know anyone in Hot Springs right now or any interest along Interstate 30 between mile markers 91 and 116, they need to go ahead and get indoors, and you need to get away from the windows here. Now I want to stress that these storms are kind of going to track over the weather center, so if we do lose power here in the weather center, we do have other areas that will continue to keep you guys informed on the latest here in terms of live coverage, etc. here. However, this is going to be the source for your live coverage right now here, okay? So these are the storms going on right now. 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts coming into that Hot Springs area here. I'm also keeping an eye on that storm that's just southwest of Little Rock right now. This storm right in here is kind of all by itself. It's away from the line, and it has been showing times of a little bit of rotation. So I'm going to keep an eye on that storm right now. Severe thunderstorm warning that's going to go for western Pulaski County. We're going to watch that very closely at this point, but it's away from the line itself. So that's where we're going to have to watch for that isolated tornado threat. But folks, do not ignore this damaging wind threat, folks. This is a significant damaging wind threat that you're seeing ongoing right now. You got a hail threat over there just to the east of Fort Smith at this point along Interstate 40. But folks, you can see this clearly on our radar right now. This is a massive line of storms beginning to push its way down into central Arkansas and then eventually into southeastern Arkansas here. We're getting a lot of reports of power outages. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the latest power outages for you guys at this point. Arkansas right now, as a matter of fact, sits right around, getting the information up right now, we're sitting right around 11,092 customers without power. The following counties are going to be the most impacted right now. It's going to be Stone, it's going to be Searcy, Johnson County sitting near 3,000 right now, Yale County, and also Faulkner and Conway County here. We're also starting to get some reports of power outages in Perry County and also Scott County as well, and also Crawford County with that storm coming out of Oklahoma and coming down southeast just east of Fort Smith at this point. So folks, take these severe thunderstorm warnings seriously. Go ahead and do what we're doing here in the Weather Center. Charge your phones, charge your equipment, stuff like that. That way you guys can continue to follow us here. But this is a significant wind threat moving through central Arkansas right now. The lights are going to be flickering with this line coming in. There's a lot of energy that's going to be pushing through with this line here, guys. But I want to stress, if you know anybody in the Hot Springs area right now, Garland County and Saline County, tell them to get indoors immediately and get away from the windows. Law enforcement has reported 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts with that storm as it's pushing out towards southeast here, guys. And you can see with radar, you can see the motion with these storms, where the direction is going to be. They're eventually going to make its way into central and then into southeastern Arkansas here. So that tells you everything you need to know about where these storms are going in terms of the direction here. But there's definitely some power outages across the board at this current time here, guys. And I may have missed one. Let me see, Yale County, there's Yale County as well here, guys. So there's a lot of outages coming in at this point. If we missed one, we apologize. At this time here, we're getting a lot of information in at this time here, guys. But keep this in mind, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts coming into the Hot Springs area at this point. We also have other storms over there in Fort Smith right now. We got a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings here. So the best thing I want to tell you guys right now is if you get put under a warning, take shelter, guys. Get away from the windows, get away from the exterior walls at this current point here. This is a very damaging line of storms moving in, history of power outages and trees down. I'm getting a lot of damage reports as well coming out of the Russellville area. Trees down, a lot of reports coming out from western Arkansas from this line. This line has a history of producing wind damage, power outages at this point here, and flash flooding as well. So please take shelter immediately. Also, if you're wondering about specific cities and counties, we're having a lot of information going at the bottom of the screen here. That red bar that you're seeing is our warning server. So every 5 seconds we get a new warning. You're going to see that kind of go across your screen here. Okay, so keep that in mind at this current time here, guys. Damaging wind and hail, primary threat. The tornado threat right now, very, very low here. I'm very concerned more about the damaging wind threat versus the tornado threat at this current time here. So we're gonna go ahead and take radar off for just take it off. Excuse me. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the track for just a little bit. So we're gonna zoom this down and show you guys this graphically for just a bit. And I'm going to go ahead and get that track up for you guys at this time here. But you can see the amount of severe thunderstorm warnings. We got some coming into the metro now, the Searcy area. I know everyone's kind of had some plans around that 3-4 o'clock time frame. And I told you guys that we were going to have to deal with the line of storms moving in. I'm going to go ahead and put a track on these storms here. So this is moving to the south and east at about 30 to 40 miles per hour here. So we're going to put a track on that storm right through here. And that's for the Hot Springs area here. So I'm going to make this a full screen for just a little bit so you guys can see a little closer on what's going on here. So that's Mount Pine, that's Mount Ida, Hot Springs, Lake Hamilton, Benton, the Glenwood area, that's Rockport, Traskwood, Malvern, Abney down here. This is the line of storms that's going to be pushing through. Keep in mind, so before, law enforcement is reporting 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and very large hail at this point here, guys. So keep that in mind. I'm awaiting, as a matter of fact, I'm awaiting for some power outages to start coming out of Garland County at this point here, just because of the line of storms that is pushing through here. And as I said before, that one storm that's all by itself, that's just to the east of this main line, is something that I'm just going to continue to keep an eye on here. I'm going to take this off for just a little bit so you guys can see a little closer. This area, this storm particularly, as you can see, there's the two areas of line of storms right there. Near Mayflower right now, and you got one near Hot Springs. But you got this one right in here, kind of all by itself. I'm going to watch it close. Right now, the rotation with it doesn't look as impressive as it did before, but I'm going to keep an eye on here. But I would say any interest along Interstate 30, kind of watch out for that potential damaging wind, hail, and I cannot, as I said before, I'm going to watch it. Cannot rule out an isolated brief sprint up with that one, but I'm going to watch it very closely. No tornado warnings with it right now, but definitely something that we can keep an eye on here because it's away from the main line. It's away from the line itself here. But you can see with the higher colors that you can see, the darker reds and the purples and the white areas you're seeing in the storms, that's the hail within the storm as well here, guys. So please take shelter, guys. Don't be outside during this. Get away from the windows, get away from the exterior walls as well. Take these severe thunderstorm warnings seriously, folks. And this one up here near Fort Smith, I'm not taking anything away from the main line, but I want to kind of focus on this one just for a second. This one over here, I'm going to stop right now for just a bit. This one's going to be a thunderstorm damage threat considerable. Hail threat almost 2-inch in diameter coming into Alma right now along Interstate 40. And this one's moving due southeast at about 30 miles per hour. So this one's going to continue to push out towards south and east here. It's going to make a run for the Lavaca area, and then it's going to try to make a run for Paris and Boonville before too much longer here. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you know anybody that needs weather information right now for the state, feel free to tag them in this live stream. This is why we're live right now, folks. We got a significant wind event going on right now across the natural state. Multiple power outages, trees down, etc. This line is capable of damage, and it's going to continue to move off towards the east-southeast at about 30 to 40 miles per hour here. So what we're going to do for just a second, I'm going to go ahead and attempt to put a track on this line of storms here. So bear with me for just a bit. Let me go ahead and zoom this out for just a second here, put a track on the storm here. But you can see the amount of severe thunderstorm warnings we have in place right now, from Batesville all the way down to Hot Springs right now here. So this is going to go for the entire line of storms. That's from Batesville all the way down. We're going to take this all the way through. There's the entire line at this point. All right, it's moving southeast. I'm gonna clock at about 40 miles per hour to the south and east here. Okay, so there it is, about right here. I'm gonna put about 40 miles per hour. There's the cities impacted, and there's gonna be the track. Okay, so we're gonna zoom this out, and I'm gonna show you guys the list of cities that's gonna be impacted with this. Okay, so we're talking Gravel Ridge, we're talking Little Rock here in just a little bit. We've got Hot Springs coming up right around that 4:10 time frame. We've got Newport, we got Lone Oak, Malvern, England, Sheridan, the Brinkley area, Whitehall. This is the entire line of storms. This is the track for the entire line coming through here. So if you need that information, kind of pay attention right now. This is moving due southeast at this point, guys, okay? Damaging winds and hail will be the primary threats with this line of storms. It has a history of producing damage. We're talking tree damage, power outages, etc. We cannot stress this enough, folks. You gotta get away from the windows. You gotta get away from the exterior walls here, okay? So the newest information from the power outages, we're still sitting at about 11,000 at this current time here. Right now, I don't have new information coming in from Garland, but I do have new information coming in from Yell County. Over 1,100 people without power right now. Johnson County still sitting at the hot spot for Arkansas, near 3,000 people without power right now. Searcy and Stone County near 1,000. We got Conway over 1,000 at this point here, okay? So, as Civil 4 folks, be ready for the potential power outages. We've been stressing this a lot over the last day or so about the potential of wind damage with this line as it's pushing through here. But this is the estimated time frame for the line of storms here. There's going to be the cities on your left side of your screen. In the blue area that you see is going to be where these line of storms are headed. So Newport down towards England, down towards Arkadelphia. Watch this storm closely, okay? The line of storms is pushing due southeast at this time here. This should come to an end by the time we get towards that 7, 8, 9 o'clock time frame. However, remember what I was telling you guys down there in southern Arkansas with the last live stream that you guys were going to have another severe thunderstorm watch go out. That has taken place. You have a severe thunderstorm watch until 9 o'clock. So we do have more storms that are going to develop as we get towards the later in the afternoon and the evening over there in western Arkansas, and they're going to move due southwest. Okay, southwest and southern to southwest, excuse me. So that's going to include southwestern Arkansas and southern Arkansas at this current time here. But I would say any interest, okay, any interest for southeastern Arkansas at this point, that's Monticello, that's Pine Bluff, Stuttgart, etc. You're going to watch this line very closely over the next couple of hours here. This is where your damaging wind threat is going to be maximized over the next couple of hours. And as you can see, my entire track, by the way, is severe thunderstorm warned from Batesville all the way over to now Waldron. This entire line is severe thunderstorm warned for the potential of seeing damaging winds, hail, and as I said before, the tornado threat right now, we haven't seen any tornado warnings at this point, okay? But I will watch for any signs of rotation on the line here. But I would not focus on the tornado threat. I will focus a lot more on the wind damage threat because this line does have a history of producing damage as it's pushing up towards the south and east here, guys. So, instead of if I do go quiet for a little bit, I am reading some new reports from National Weather Service here. We've got a new report that came out about 4 o'clock. Reports of, let me see here, Perry County Dispatch relayed highway south, just south of Forsyth, completely blocked with trees. The fire department is out to clear the roads right now. So this is in Forsyth Junction, which is in Perry County at this current time here. Reports of damaging winds with that one, guys. So we're starting to get a lot of damage reports here. We've got some earlier reports from Van Buren County of trees down, etc. So a lot of power outages and a lot of trees down with this line of storms as it's pushing out towards the south and east here, guys. So please keep that in mind. We got new severe thunderstorm warning over there near that Waldron area. So for Hot Springs right now, if you are outdoors at this point, You need to get away from the windows. You need to get away from the exterior walls. This is capable of producing 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and the potential of very large hail as it's pushing off towards the southeast here. So Hot Springs, you've got about 5 minutes before the storm's on top of you. The metro, it's coming over you right now in the metro. We can hear it outside of the weather center. It's going to be coming over here in just a little bit. We've got Searcy, got storms going right now. We've got Batesville as well. This is going to continue to move out towards the south and east here, guys. So you can see the general motion. Said before, and we'll draw this out so you guys can see just a little closer on the areas that are going to be impacted, okay? That is eastern Arkansas, down into southeastern Arkansas and Arkadelphia. To Arkadelphia, to Fordyce, to Pine Bluff, to Dumas, Monticello, West Helena, Stuttgart, Memphis, up towards Jonesboro. This is going to be the area of concern over the next 1 to 3 hours here. That's where that line of storms is going to be making its way here. And another thing I'm going to keep an eye on here, and I'm starting to notice that with the latest scan, is you're starting to see a mesolow kind of getting going over here in Independence County. What does that mean? Basically what that means is you're starting to get this thing bowing out even more as it's pushing out towards the south and east. And remember, this area has not seen a drop of rainfall all day across this point. So you got a lot of instability from southern and southeastern Arkansas going into this line of storms, and that's what's going to be feeding it as it's pushing out towards the south and east here. So those areas from Jonesboro to Memphis, Stuttgart, DeWitt, West Helena, Pine Bluff, Fordyce, Camden, Arkadelphia, Pike County, over towards Mena. Watch this very closely, guys. Wind damage and the potential large hail will be your primary threats with this storm as it's pushing out towards the east here, okay? So we got a new severe thunderstorm, well, actually an update to the severe thunderstorm warning. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts have been observed. They canceled severe thunderstorm warning for Perry County, but continues it for Faulkner, Jackson, Lone Oak, Perry, Pulaski, White, and Woodruff County until 4:30 this afternoon here, okay? So just keep that in mind at this time here, guys. We're getting a lot of reports in at this point. We also got our entire forecast team trying to get to questions as quickly as we physically can. So, folks, I know everybody's kind of asking about what's going on and stuff like that. If you're just now tuning in, this is what we have going at this time here. I'm mainly worried about the straight line wind damage threat with this line of storms here. The tornado threat, so far, we haven't had any tornado warnings, which is great. But we're going to watch it closely. But I will say this. As long as this stays a line of storms and you do not have any storms kind of getting going ahead of the line, your tornado threat is going to be little to none today. This is going to be a straight line wind damage threat, which is going to be capable of producing power outages and tree damage across the state here. So keep that in mind here. That one storm over there in Fort Smith right now here, we're going to watch it very closely. That one is capable of producing near 2 inches. It's actually producing 2-inch hail now with that storm here coming out of Van Buren at this point. That's going to be making a run for Boonville. So I say Boonville, if you have anybody that's doing any outdoor plans right now, kind of tell them you got a nasty storm coming in with potential 2-inch hail with those storms here, and you're going to have to watch it very closely. We also got a new severe thunderstorm warning up there near Mississippi County right there near Osceola. That one's producing hail as well here, 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts with those storms here. So you get the gist of what I'm talking about. You get the gist of the hazards for today. Damaging winds and hail will be your primary threats for today here, okay? And then you will have a slight chance of a tornado. I can't stress that the tornado threat is going to be very, very low for today here. Remember that storm that we were watching near Benton that was kind of by itself? It is now part of the main line. So that's what I'm saying. That's what's going to kill your tornado threat for today, is these storms that try to get going ahead of the line is going to get absorbed by the line at some point and become a wind maker. All right, so you can see what's going on. You hear the thunder in the weather center, by the way. We've got storms ongoing at this current point here. So for Hot Springs, if you're not indoors already, you need to move indoors at this current time here. Severe thunderstorm warning for the metro. We'll zoom this out as well, okay? And you can see what's going on here, okay? So you got a new severe thunderstorm warning up here, Mississippi County up here in northeastern Arkansas. All these severe thunderstorm warnings. That is going to be capable of producing 60 mile per hour, 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts, large to very large hail, and I cannot rule out an isolated tornado too. We're going to watch it closely, guys. We'll keep you guys updated on that here, okay? So, as I said before, I'm going to take a look at the comments here, and also I'm going to take a look at the inboxes. And also, one more thing, if y'all have any pictures or videos of damage and you can get it to us safely, feel free to do that, folks. I want to stress that we will post it on the page as soon as we can with credit given to you guys. So if y'all have any pictures or videos, feel free to send it in, guys. I would really appreciate that. It really helps us out with ground reports as well here, okay? And also, I'm getting a lot of people in the comments saying it's getting cold. Behind this line, that's just how strong this line is. It's pulling out all that cold air aloft, okay? So behind this line, your temperatures are going to tank. You're going to tank quickly behind this line of storms here. That's the reason why I'm saying you got to watch this line close, because it's going to be capable of producing 60 to 70 miles per hour, 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. So we're on live stream. If any tornado warnings get issued, this live stream will immediately go over to tornado warning coverage. But right now, we do not have any tornado warnings at this point. I'm taking a look outside right now. We've got about 50 to 55 mile per hour wind gusts coming into the weather center right now here. Taking a look at the thing as well here. Temperatures are beginning to tank as well. We've gone from near 80 down to 68 now with this line of storms as they're pushing through at this current time here, okay? So, as I said before, this is what we got going at this current time. The hot spring area right now, as I said before, if you're not indoors already, you need to get indoors quickly. 70 mile per hour wind gusts, and that has been observed, by the way. That is not radar indicated. That has been observed. 70 mile per hour wind gusts, and also over an inch in diameter hail at this current time here, okay? So before, everybody is focusing on the tornado threat. Tornado threat is very low. I want to make that crystal clear to everybody. The tornado threat is very, very low for today. I'm really worried about the damaging wind threat more than a tornado threat for today here. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen, but you need to focus on more of the wind damage threat versus the tornado threat, guys, okay? I want to stress that so much. Damaging winds need to be just as popular as the tornado risk, because they're capable of producing power outages and tree damage as well here, okay? So before, Jonathan, thank you for that report. We're getting a lot of reports of tree damage across the natural state at this current time here, guys. I cannot stress that enough. You need to take these severe thunderstorm warnings seriously as they're pushing off towards the southeast here. So it will be coming over the metro at this current point. It's coming over it right now. This will be pushing through. It should be over with within the next 30 minutes to an hour here. And then you have the Hot Springs area right around that area. This should be coming in within the next 30 minutes to an hour. And then we have another round of storms over here in western Arkansas that you're going to have to watch as well here. So I think these storms will continue to push off towards the southeast here. And so forth. There's a lot of energy to work with these storms ahead of the line. So they're going to continue to strengthen. They're going to continue to keep going, and this has the potential to making it all the way down into Mississippi before it continues before it starts to weaken. I think this thing will easily get through eastern and southeastern Arkansas, and then we'll have to watch and wait and see what happens later on this afternoon and this evening for any potential additional thunderstorms here, but I'm not expecting a whole lot at this current time here, guys, okay? So you can see this is what we got going at this point. The wind is going to be crazy, by the way. I mean, I'm getting reports left and right of trees down. Jacksonville, you've got storms ongoing right now. Trees down in Conway at this point. Thank you guys for these reports. I really do appreciate it. Ground reports are so helpful for us here in the Weather Center at this current time here. I'm going to take the power outages as well. Current power outages right now, we were at 11,000 earlier. We have now gone up to 15,000, okay? So 15,264 people without power. The following counties are the ones that are going to be affected right now. So that's going to be Jackson, White, Claiborne, Independence County, Izard, Stone, Searcy, Newton, Johnson County, Logan, Yell County, Scott County. We're starting to get some reports down Pulaski and Saline. Perry County as well, Crawford, Franklin, Van Buren, and also Pope County, P-O-P-E County at this point here, okay? We're also starting to get some reports from Garland County, some power outages as well in Garland County, Montgomery, and right now we don't have any in Polk, P-O-L-K County right now, but you will have storms moving through in the next 30 minutes to an hour. And in Sebastian County, you've got reports as well here of power outages. So in total right now, and also one more county, is going to be Mississippi County as well here, okay? So we've got power outages going on right now, 15,000 customers without power at this current point. Keep this in mind, guys. Damaging wind and hail will be the primary threats with these storms as they're pushing off towards southeast here. We're going to continue to live stream coverage. That way you guys can come to one source for your radar updates here, guys. And as I said before, I want to make this crystal clear for everybody, okay? Don't focus on just a tornado threat. This is going to be one event for Arkansas that this is going to be a damaging wind threat. This is I would say this is kind of a reminder on how bad damaging winds can get for us here in Arkansas. This is why the damaging wind and hail threat needs to be taken more seriously versus the tornado threat, because it can be capable of producing tree damage. It can be capable of producing power outages as well here, okay? So this is one event that the damaging wind threat is going to take more priority than the tornado threat right now. Doesn't mean we're not watching. If anything happens, we'll watch it closely. But as I said before, damaging wind is going to be the primary threat with this. Tree damage and power outages are ongoing right now here, guys. So I would tell you guys right now, let me see if I can get the counties pulled up for you guys at this point, so we can kind of make this a little bit easier for you guys to see. But as I said before, if you are in, let's get zoom this down so you guys can go back to full screen for just a bit, okay? So I would say in Hot Spring County, Grant County, Lone Oak, Jefferson County, Grant County, Woodruff, Perry, and also Monroe, and even in Arkansas County, you're ahead of the line right now. What I would tell you guys right now, go ahead and charge your phones. Go ahead and keep your phones on charge. That way, if your power goes out, you'll have coverage continuously at this point here, okay? So keep that in mind here at this current time here, all right? Garland County, you've got storms moving in through it right now. Law enforcement has reported 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts with the line of storms here. Center for severe thunderstorm watch goes for basically the entire state except for eastern Arkansas at this current time here. Give me 1 second here. I'm getting new reports here at this point. We are going to watch and wait and see. Let me see here. Trees and power lines down in Cedar Creek in North Little Rock at this current point here. So we're getting new reports in, trees down and power outages down. We've got trees down in North Little Rock at this point. That's with the line of storms moving through here. We also have a new severe thunderstorm warning that just got issued. And remember the counties I was just telling you guys about. That's for Saline, Garland, Jefferson, Lone Oak, Arkansas County now, Monroe, Perry, and Woodruff County at this point. Significant damaging wind threat ongoing right now across the board. If you need anybody that needs this information, send them our way immediately, guys, okay? So right now, the Weather Center at this point, I think the line of storms have pushed through the metro, not the metro, the Weather Center area, so we should be good to go in terms of power. So we're good to go. But my forecasters continue to kind of answer questions and stuff like that. I do have 2 forecasters that are ready to go just in case anything happens to the main Weather Center. But right now, I think we're good to go here, guys. So we're going to continue updates real time at this point. Saline, Grant, Jefferson, Lone Oak, Arkansas, Monroe, Perry, and Woodruff counties, guys. This is going to be the areas of next concern here. Remember that track that I drew out just a few minutes ago? That's going to be moving towards those areas here. So I'm going to stop the radar for just a bit. Let's zoom this out so you guys can see exactly what I mean here, okay? So severe thunderstorm warning goes until 5:15. Mainly for the potential 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts and 1-inch hail with these storms here. Remember, we just got a report from North Little Rock of trees down. That is 60 mile per hour wind gusts, guys. That's nothing to mess around with. That can be capable of tree damage and power outages at this point. The wind damage, as you can see, has been observed. That means somebody is sitting in those reports and it's been reserved. So it's not radar indicated anymore. It is observed at this point, 60 mile per hour wind gusts and also the 1-inch hail threat. And as I said before, we're still monitoring this storm over here in Hot Springs County at this point here in Garland County. Damage threat considerable. Hail over 1 inch in diameter and 70 mile per hour wind gusts with this storm as it's pushing off towards the southeast here. And then so we're watching this storm over here in Crawford, Franklin, and Sebastian County at this point. 2-inch hail with this storm and 60 mile per hour wind gusts. So these storms are nothing to mess around with, folks. Damaging wind and the damaging wind and hail threat will continue, but we will watch, especially along the line itself. I think especially as we get later into the afternoon, we may have to watch for that isolated tornado potential at this current point here, okay? So we're getting inboxes in left and right. Julie, I do appreciate that photo that we just got in from the Russellville area. Significant tree damage at this current time here. And I'm also getting a lot of reports of people seeing rotation in the clouds. And you're going to see that a lot, especially with the one in Saline County right now. Right now, I would say, just to be on the safe side, if you're in Saline and Grant County, go ahead and seek shelter just to be on the safe side. Regardless of the tornado threat, it is going to be capable of producing damaging winds upwards to 70 miles per hour. So this is going to be the storm that I'm talking about right here. And we'll stop the radar for just a bit. Let's go ahead and take this out just a little bit faster. And there's the storm right here, okay? So I would say watch this one close. Let's go over to our rotation indicator at this point. Watch it very, very closely. It does have a little bit of rotation along the line itself, but no tornado warnings are in effect at this current time here. But I'm really worried about the damaging wind potential with this, guys. I cannot stress that enough at this point. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at this. And this is a new one of our products here that we use here in the Weather Center, and especially for wind events. And basically what you're seeing is what's called the downdraft gust potential with this, guys. And you can see coming in a Grant and Hot Spring County right now, 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts coming in. This one over here producing 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. So we've got storms up here near BB at this current point. So this is what I'm saying, folks. Keep this in mind. I'm going to zoom this out and so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. This is your wind field right now with the line of storms here. Just a generalized 55 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts with these storms here, especially with those darker purples that you're seeing on our radar at this point. So keep this in mind. This is what you're looking at this current point. This is going to continue to push out towards the south and east here. Cabot, everything's going to be loud. There's going to be a lot of storms moving over your area at this point. Keep this in mind at this current timing, guys. Damaging wind, primary threat, 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts. And I'm also watching for that hail potential as well here, okay? So we're getting a lot of reports in at this point, okay? So power outage still remains at about 15,000 right now. Okay, so we do have an unfortunate situation here that's just coming out of the Russellville area. This is the latest from National Weather Service in Little Rock. This is coming out of Pope County, P-O-P-E County, in west central Arkansas. 2 people have been injured. A tree has fell on a vehicle near East 4th Street in Russellville. 2 people have been extradited from the vehicle and taken to the local hospital. So our hearts are going to go out to those that were impacted by that, guys. I really hope you guys are okay. But folks, this is what I'm saying to you guys. You gotta take these severe thunderstorm warnings seriously, folks. We're getting another report as well of emergency management. A tree fell on a house near North Detroit Avenue in Russellville. No injuries have been reported, thankfully. But that has been the case here. So we're getting trees down on vehicles and on houses, guys. So I cannot stress that enough. Take these severe thunderstorm warnings seriously, folks, okay? If you do not have to travel, you don't have to get out at this point here. But that's what we got at this current time here. We got a lot of reports coming in, especially from Pope County. That's up there in the Russellville area from those storms that moved through earlier at this current time here. So that's the latest from National Weather Service in Little Rock. Also, we have a new mesoscale discussion from the Weather Prediction Center, which is going to go for the potential of flash flooding as well here. But I will say this. The flash flooding threat, as long as these storms continue to move as fast as they are, the flash flooding threat is going to take a little bit of a backside versus the damaging wind potential at this time here. So watch that close. We're going to watch the situation closely, guys. But as I said before, if you're just now tuning in, this is what we got going at this time here. A lot of thunderstorm activity, a nasty squall line moving through central Arkansas right now. Multiple reports of trees down in North Little Rock, the Russellville area, Interstate 40. We're starting to get some reports from Garland County as well. Power outages over towards Montgomery County. We've gotten some reports as well. So everybody be safe, be careful. If you do not have to get out, do not get out, folks, okay? Please be very careful this afternoon and this evening here, okay? That severe thunderstorm warning up here has been allowed to be expired up there in Crawford and Sebastian County. That's been downgraded to a kind of a regular severe thunderstorm warning, but still watch it. But you can see this the significant wind issue. That's from Lonoke, from Perry, Monroe, Woodruff, Arkansas, Jefferson, Grant, and Saline counties at this current time here. Watch these storms very closely here. Our live stream is still going to continue at this current point here, but you can see the general direction here. I'm going to zoom this out so you guys can see what's going on across the state at this current point. Okay, there's a lot of storms beginning to move through. Monticello, I'm getting a lot of questions. Monticello, it's going to be a while, but it will make it down in the Monticello area. This is going to be primarily probably right around that 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock time frame down there into southern Arkansas here, southeastern Arkansas. But you can see it's beginning to make its way down into eastern and southeastern Arkansas at this point here. So if you know anybody, I mean anybody that needs this live information, send them our way, folks. Tag your family, tag your friends. Keep them updated, folks, okay? So before, just because it's not a severe take that back. Just because it's not a tornado warning doesn't mean you need to ignore it, okay? The severe thunderstorm warnings have priority for a reason. We're getting a lot of issues going on right now with the tree and the power outage threats are going across the state at this current time here. Okay, so now we got a new report from National Weather Service in Little Rock from Pulaski County. This one is social media picture of a large tree has fallen, blown over in Cedar Creek, that is in North Little Rock, and has also knocked down power lines as well here, okay? So this was in Cedar Creek, which is in Pulaski County, which is in North Little Rock, so it's roughly about right in here. Significant, I got a report of a large tree down has caused power outages in those points here, guys. So please keep that in mind here. Trees are coming down. We've got power outages all across the state at this current point. And also to answer your question, Elizabeth, yes, it did speed up. It was going 20 to 25 miles per hour. Now it's beginning to speed up. Now it's starting to push more 30 to 40 miles per hour. So that's going to really increase your damaging wind threat across the natural state at this current time. Okay, so keep that in mind at this current point here. Grant, Jefferson, Lone Oak, Perry, Monroe, Arkansas County now. Watch these storms very closely. They're going to continue to move on towards the south and east here. It has gone over Benton County at this point here, but I want to kind of show you guys something real fast here. I'm going to take this over, and we're going to show you guys the instability, okay? So this is what you're looking at right now here. So I'm going to kind of make this easier for you guys so you guys aren't confused by this. The colors that you see ahead of this line is the instability. Okay, so this is really a lot of energy going out at this point. If y'all are having volume problems, by the way, you may have to get out of Facebook and then come back in. But as said before, this is what we got going. So the colors that you see here in southern and southeastern Arkansas, that is a lot of instability that this line is moving through. The problem I have with this line, and it's getting colder. That's the thing, it's getting colder behind it. Problem is your instability. Look at your instability trying to come back behind the line of storms here. Remember up here in northwestern Arkansas, you just got through dealing with it, and your instability is already trying to come back in because your frontal boundary is still well north of the state. When the front comes through, that's when you're going to have another round of storms. That's going to primarily impact western and southwestern Arkansas. But you can already see your instability trying to come back into the natural state at this point here. But all the colors that you see here in southern and southeastern Arkansas, this is the instability. That's all the energy that this line is moving due southeast into. So that's why I'm really concerned about the potential of seeing significant damaging winds as they push out into the southeastern portions of the state here. So keep this in mind across the board here, guys. We're going to continue to monitor updates. We're going to continue to keep you guys updated at this point here. But I wanted to show you guys that graphically so you guys kind of get an understanding of why we're so concerned about southeastern Arkansas. And also, we just had a power flicker here in the weather center. So if we do lose power, we will have additional we have additional sources that will keep you guys informed. But right now, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens at this point. But right now, these storms are kind of moving through at this current time, and we're zooming this down so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about here. So they're moving through Pulaski County at this point. They're moving through Garland County. There's new warning up there for the Hot Spring area as well. 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts with this storm at this point. Got other severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing at this time here, guys. We're going to monitor the situation closely. Up here in northeastern Arkansas, right now, you have no severe thunderstorm warnings, which is great. The majority of this line is missing northeastern Arkansas, is going straight into central and the southwestern and southeastern Arkansas at this current time here, okay? Also, we have other storms over here in western Arkansas we're going to have to watch. But right now, the primary damaging wind threat is going to be right through the heart of Arkansas, right through central Arkansas, at this current time here. As I said before, if we do lose power here, guys, we do have additional sources of people that will continue to keep you guys updated. But right now, I think we're good to go. The majority of this has passed the weather center at this point here, so we should be good to go at this current time here. But I'm gonna zoom this out so you guys can get a statewide view on what's going on at this point here. So everybody else in northern and northwestern Arkansas right now, you're good to go. But as I said before, we're gonna watch this situation very, very closely here. Also, I'm gonna turn on temperatures so you guys can see the temperature drop behind this as well here. So maybe for just a bit, I'm gonna get this up for you guys. Give me 1 second. There's temperature. So temperature should start coming up here shortly here. But you can see behind the line of storms, we've got temperatures in the 60s up here in northwestern Arkansas. But ahead of the line itself, we've got temperatures in the upper 80s to low 90s at this point. So monitor this very, very closely, guys. And as I said before, behind the line, you see what's going on here. You still have that southerly flow coming back into western Arkansas and northwestern Arkansas. So this is what I'm saying. You're going to have to watch this very closely. And also, guys, if y'all are having volume problems, as I said before, you may have to back out of the live stream and come back in at this point here. But I think everything should be good to go in terms of the volume. I'm not having any problems in terms of the volume on my side here, okay? So, as I said before, this is what we got going at this current time here. This is what we're watching at this point. So, let me see. We're getting any more updates at this time here. And there's a lot of wind with that storm here. I'm looking at the storm that's coming out of Little Rock right now. And radar is wanting to put out 80 to 90 mile per hour wind gusts with that, which is a loft. So basically, when that gets translated down to the surface, that's going to be capable of producing 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts with that storm coming out of Pulaski County going into Lonoke County at this point here. So that's why I'm saying, folks, take these severe thunderstorm warnings seriously. That one that had the considerable tag with it has been allowed to be dropped. It has been replaced with this one. But as I said before, we're going to continue to monitor it very, very closely here. So severe thunderstorm warning continues until 5:15. We'll read the latest one that's going to come out. 60 mile per hour wind gusts, quarter size hail. Emergency management has confirmed 60 mile per hour wind gusts with those storms. This is going to include Interstate 30 between mile markers 112 and 142. Interstate 40 between mile markers 151 and 218. Interstate 430 between mile markers 1 and 5. Interstate 530 as well between mile markers 1 and 35. Interstate 630, Interstate 440, and also Highway 67 as well here. So 60 mile per hour wind gusts in quarter size hail. Severe thunderstorms located along 9 extending from near Tupelo to Thurman to near Lonsdale, moving southeast at about 40 miles per hour here. Okay, so remember earlier they were about 15 to 20. Now they have accelerated even higher to 40 miles per hour here, guys. Okay, so wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour will be expected with this storm as well, and also quarter size hail. And we also got a new warning over here, and you guys can see at the bottom of your screen here. That's going to be our warning server. You're going to have warnings coming out left and right at this point here. Okay, so severe thunderstorm warning continues until 5:15. That's going to go for Hot Springs, Dallas, Clark, and Grant counties. That's for the Hot Springs area. That's Malvern, that's Arkadelphia, and Sheridan. 60 mile per hour wind gusts and 1-inch hail with those storms as they're pushing out towards the south and east here, guys. So just kind of keep that in mind. So I would say the majority of this will be from central Arkansas through here. Okay, that's where your severe threat's going to be kind of maximized over the next couple of hours here. Okay, that's going to be through this area at this point. I'm going to zoom this out so you guys can see. Okay, so right through here in central Arkansas to southeastern Arkansas, that is where your severe threat is going to be kind of maximized over the next couple of hours here. Okay, El Dorado, you're sitting at 90 degrees right now. Hot Springs, you just dropped to 66. You got 88. You're back to 88 degrees in Fort Smith. You just got through dealing with a storm, and you're back up into the 80s here. So you're still getting that return flow behind this line, so that's going to support even more thunderstorm activity as we get towards the afternoon and into this evening here at this point. But right now, this is what's got our focus at this point here. Okay, so we do have new reports coming in from the weather, from the National Weather Service in Little Rock. Social media picture: large tree limb approximately about a foot in diameter was knocked down in Conway here, guys. So we're getting a crazy ton of tree damage reports across the Atchison State at this current time here. And also observed gusts at 55 miles per hour, excuse me, in the Adamsfield at the airport here in Little Rock at this current point here. Okay, so let's take a look at power outages for just a second. Power outages at this point, we were at 15,000 earlier. We have exceeded 24,000 power outages across the natural state at this current point here. Okay, so the following counties are going to go from Crawford, Sebastian. We also got Scott, Logan, Yale counties. We also got Garland, Perry, Saline, Pulaski County. Now 4,000 people without power in Pulaski County. Faulkner County coming in over 2,000. Conway over 600 people without power. Lonoke County, you're starting to get power outages as well. Perry, White, Independence, Jackson, Stone counties, Izard counties, Cleburne, Van Buren County as well. Searcy, Newton County, Boone County, Crawford, Yale County over here, and also Civil 4, Mississippi County. So we're now up to 24,000 people without power right now here. So that's why I'm saying you're going to have to watch this very closely here. And I'm fully expecting additional power outages as we get towards this afternoon and into this evening here, as this line continues to just haul down into southeastern Arkansas at this current point here. Civil 4, if y'all have any reports, please let me know. And Civil 4, and also feel free to message us as well if you have any pictures or videos at this current time here, especially of damage, because we can help confirm that what we're seeing on radar at this current time here, guys. Okay, so getting reports of power outages in Traskwood. We also got no power in Benton at this current point here as well. Little Rock just passed through about 10 minutes ago near in western Cantrell. Little Rock, this is past you now. This is now pushing into southeastern Arkansas at this point here. Okay, so we'll talk more about the additional route once we get past this. Right now, this is kind of taking the more of the attention right now because this is producing significant damaging winds across central Arkansas. But I will talk about the additional thunderstorm activity behind this line once we get a good standing on this line of storms as it's pushing into southeastern Arkansas. So our live coverage is going to continue. If you need anybody that needs radar updates, that needs information, etc., please tag them in this live stream, guys. This is why we're here, and this is why we continue to keep you guys informed. And as so forth, I told you guys yesterday in the live stream that we're going to go live even if it was a severe thunderstorm warning across the state here. So this is still producing 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts across the board. I'm going to take temperatures off for just a bit, and I'm going to turn on our gust potential at this point. So we're going to take this down and show you guys exactly what we're talking about here. And it's going to come up here just shortly. But this is exactly what we're talking about here. So this is still capable of producing 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts with this storm as it's pushing off towards the south and east here. So maybe for just a bit, I'm going to get this information up, and it should be coming up here shortly here, guys. So live scan is going to come on, and it's so forth, still producing 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts with the storm. And there it is right there. So this is the newest update from our radar here. I'm going to zoom this down, and this one in particular coming into Hot Spring County right now. That's Malvern to Dawson along Interstate 30. So if you know anybody on Interstate 30 right now, tell them to be prepared for this. This is going to be producing near 70 mile per hour wind gusts with this storm as it's pushing off towards the south and east here. Okay, so please keep that in mind at this current time here. Damaging winds will be the main threat with this as it pushes off towards the south and east here. But this is something that we're going to watch very closely here. But you can see the line of storms is just kind of pushing through, and what you're seeing on your radar right now is the wind potential with this. The reds that you're seeing is 40 to 50 mile per hour, and then the darker purples that you're seeing is going to be 60 to 70 mile per hour winds with these storms here. And that's one near coming out of Garland County right now, coming into Hot Springs County. We've got another area over here we're going to watch that's in southern Pulaski coming into Jefferson County. We've got some over here in Lonoke County as well. Perry County over here along Interstate 40. That's going to be coming into Monroe and Woodruff County. And I'm going to zoom this out just a little bit. Up here in northeastern Arkansas, no warnings up here at this point. However, still producing 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts with that. That could still be capable of bringing down some tree limbs, guys. So before, damaging wind, primary threat with these storms here. We also got another area of concern over here in Montgomery County as well, producing near 70 mile per hour wind gusts with this at this current time here. So watch this situation very closely, guys. We're going to continue to keep you guys updated. But as said before, this is the line of storms moving through. If you know anyone that needs radar updates, This is why we're live at this current time here, guys. No tornado threat at this point. I think I can safely say the tornado threat is almost zero, but I don't want to rule it out at this point here. I think the damaging wind threat is just going to overpower the tornado threat for today here. And I'm going to stress something to you guys too. This is not our last severe threat for us here in Arkansas. We have a severe risk coming up on Friday. Once we get past today, I'm probably going to do a live stream for you guys tomorrow to talk about Friday's risk as well here, okay? So, unfortunately, we're going into an active pattern. We had that 1 week of summer, and all of a sudden, the pattern just went into hyper mode here, guys. So, we got this threat we're going to have to watch. We're going to have to watch this upcoming threat as we get towards Friday and into Saturday time frame here. And I will say, with that threat coming up Friday and a Saturday, I think the tornado threat with that one may be a little bit higher versus what we were seeing right now with this threat here. But we'll let you guys know on that once we get past today here, okay? So, and so forth. If you're kind of tuning in at this point, we're getting a lot of people asking about the cities and the counties. Nevada County right now, southern Arkansas, you're really good at this point, but you're watching that line kind of sagging southward. So you have about, I'd say, hour to 2 hours to watch this situation closely, okay? Traskwood, you've got line of storms moving through at this point. Perry County and Monroe County, you're going to have to watch this very, very closely here. We got a new warning, actually a special weather statement over here in eastern Arkansas. That's going to go for St. Francis, Southwestern Cross, and Lee County over here in eastern Arkansas. So watch this situation closely. But at 7-4, you can see the line of storms just kind of pushing its way down into southeastern Arkansas here, and we're just getting new updates by the second at this point here, okay? So we're going to watch this situation very closely. Damaging wind threat across the board. Hot Spring, Grant, Jefferson, Lonoke, Perry, Monroe, and Arkansas counties are going to be the areas of target at this point for the potential of seeing damaging winds. 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts, quarter-sized hail, and right now I want to say that the tornado threat is very, very low, but we're going to watch it very closely for you guys at this current point here, okay? So we got new information in, 24,000 people without power right now. National Weather Service in Little Rock continues the severe thunderstorm warning. 60 mile per hour wind gusts have been observed. That's going to go for Arkansas, Grant, Jefferson, Lonoke, Monroe, Perry, Pulaski, Saline, and Woodruff counties at this current time here. That's going to go until 5:15. Also, the National Weather Service has reported a large tree has been knocked down over here in Jacksonville and the Cato Road between Gibson and Gravel Ridge at this point, which is in Pulaski County. So we're getting a crazy ton of power outages at this point here. And I'm going to go ahead and double check and make sure we're good to go in terms of damage reports. And as I said before, we're going to get you guys pictures. We're getting a lot of pictures and videos in. If we don't get them posted on Facebook, we do appreciate you guys sitting in. That way we can focus on what's going on, and it really helps with the ground information as well here, okay? So we kind of nailed down the severe thunderstorm warnings down to Hot Springs, Grant, Jefferson, Arkansas, Monroe, Perry, and Lonoke County at this current time here. This is what we got at this current time here. This is pushing due southeast at this point. If you know anybody that needs this information, send them our way, folks, okay? This is what we do. This is why we're live here. We don't go live for just tornado warnings. We go live for severe thunderstorm warnings as well here, okay? So if you need anybody that needs information, send them our way here, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and take this down a little bit so you guys can see what's going on. Northwestern Arkansas, at the moment, you're good to go. And I'm going to take a look at guidance while the radar is going. I'm going to take a look at guidance and see what the guidance is wanting to do with the storms later on. I know it had the storms over there in western and northwestern Arkansas later this evening and into the night, but I want to see if it continues that at this point here. But we're getting a lot of reports in, guys. So if I do go quiet for a little bit, I want to kind of stress that at this point. Okay, so I'm looking at the HR. So the HR has this main line pushing through eastern Arkansas, and then you have another area, which I'm going to circle here in just a little bit. Have another area up here that you're going to have to watch. Remember that return flow that I was telling you guys about up here in northwestern Arkansas? This is the area that you're going to have to watch as you get towards the evening. So I would say 6 to 7 p.m. up here in northwestern Arkansas. You're going to have to watch that close for those storms to kind of get going up there. Mainly a hail threat, but we will watch that situation close. And then what it attempts to do, and I'm kind of curious about this, it attempts to fire even more storms down here in central and southwestern Arkansas here, and then they push off towards the south. So I think this activity that's going to come later this afternoon and in this evening is going to be with the main cold front, because of the fact that this line kind of surged way ahead on the main cold front at this point here. So that's going to be something that you're going to have to watch up there in northwestern Arkansas as we get towards the next 2 to 3 hours. But right now, we got this main line pushing through. That line, as a matter of fact, per guidance, takes this line all the way down to southern Mississippi. That's how much energy we have in place at this point here, guys. Okay, so this line is just going to haul all the way down into eastern and southeastern Arkansas, and then it's going to go down into the Mississippi area here. At this point, and we have severe thunderstorm warnings at this point that may try to go up here in northwestern Arkansas as we get towards the evening and into the night here. Okay, so Richie, I do appreciate your report, by the way. Power poles reported being snapped, and a roof being reported in the middle of Albert Pike. That is crazy. Thank you for that report, Richie. I really do appreciate that. But that is significant, folks. That is a lot of wind damage coming in here. And Elizabeth, I see your comment. I'm going to tell you guys this straightforward. As long as I have one person listening, that's all that matters to me, guys. That's all that matters to me. As long as I have one person listening and watching radar with me, that's all that matters at this point here. I really don't focus on numbers. As long as we have one person watching, that's all that matters at this time here, guys. Okay, so as a matter of fact, this line of storms, I'm watching the line of storms, and I would say, Christy, you made a good point. This is starting to push due southeast, but notice something. A couple of minutes ago, it was just hauling. It was really going at this point. It was going about 40 miles per hour. It looks like it's starting to put the brakes on as it's getting into eastern and southeastern Arkansas. So what's going on is it's running into ridging out here in the east, and it's starting to slow down. You still will have to watch in the eastern Arkansas here, but basically what's going on, instead of it coming through 40 to 50 miles per hour, it's starting to come down at 20 to 30 at this point here, okay? So just watch this situation very, very closely. But I'm noticing that was a great comment. I'm noticing how it's starting to slow down, and it's running straight into the southeast ridge. That's just to our east here, guys. Okay, so this is what we got going at this point. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect for Pulaski, Grant, Jefferson, Monroe, Arkansas, Perry, and Woodruff County at this current time here. Those other warnings over there in western Arkansas have died off. But I am getting concerned that we may have additional development over there in northwestern Arkansas as we get towards that 6, 7 o'clock time frame here. So I'm going to keep the live stream going. I'm going to let you guys kind of watch radar at this point here. I'm also going to read you guys reports that we're getting in here. But guys, take these severe thunderstorm warnings seriously. I can't tell you how much tree damage and power outage reports I'm getting to you guys right now. If I could show you guys the screen on the reports that we got right now, I would, and it's just an overwhelming amount at this point, guys. So keep that in mind. We're watching the situation very closely. Take these severe thunderstorm warnings seriously, guys. Damaging winds and hail will be the primary threats at this current time here. Also, I'm going to read you guys the power outages at the point. Remember, we're at 24,000 early. We're still at 24,000 right now. All this areas across central and the western Arkansas, that's where your power outage threat is beginning to increase. Johnson County, you're still sitting at about 2,000 people without power at this point. And I'm going to go ahead and read you guys the information from Energy. So give me 1 second here, and we'll get this up and try to give you guys a time frame on when the power is expected to be restored. But I'm going to tell you this now: if we got widespread power outages like this, it is going to be a couple of hours before they can get to you, probably right around that midnight, 1 o'clock time frame here. So a lot of reports of power outages here. We'll just kind of take one at random, and we'll look and see what it looks like for this area here. So maybe for just a bit. Let me see here. Okay, so power outages. Okay, so this is the latest from Energy here, folks, and this is, like I said before, this is as a result of the damage that's going through right now. The estimated time of restorage for power is going to be noon tomorrow. Okay, we're talking noon tomorrow for the power to be coming on here across the board. So if you lose power, you're probably going to be out of power for the rest of the night, and it's probably going to be trying to come back on probably sometime midday tomorrow. That's how damaging this line is at this point. There's a lot of wind damage coming through this line at this current time here, guys, okay? So just keep that in mind here. But so far, that's the latest from Energy at this time here. They're saying the estimated timing for energy to be restored is going to be 12 p.m. tomorrow if you lose power tonight here, guys. So keep that in mind here. Charge your phones. Have your phones ready to go. So before, I'm on live stream right now, and I've got all our equipment charging, so we're fine. We're ready to go here in the weather center. But the Little Rock area, you're done. This is pushing down into South Central, into southeastern Arkansas here. Lonoke County is coming out of Lonoke County right now. Jefferson is knocking on your door. Arkansas County is starting to knock on your door. Monroe County is starting to knock on your door. It's to start coming into Lee and St. Francis County at this point. And as so forth, we're going to watch this area here, I would say from Scott up here to northwestern Arkansas. This area up in here, you're going to have to watch right around that 6 to 7 time frame up here for additional storms up here in northwestern Arkansas here. So we're going to watch that close. We'll keep you guys updated on that. But right now, our primary focus is going to be with this line of storms pushing down into southeastern Arkansas here. So Stuttgart, England, down into Jefferson, Grant, Hot Springs County. This is what I'm saying here, guys. That's going to be pushing down into those areas here, okay? So we've got power outages in the Butterfield area. Wind is starting to pick up in wind. Just now coming in, what have I missed? I'm in Strong. So Strong right now, you're in southern Arkansas. It is hot and it is humid down there in southern Arkansas right now here. You have storms that are beginning, and you can see what's going on here because it's trying to work its way around the ridge. Remember, it was moving due southeast. Now it's beginning to make that due southward turn. So you're going to have to watch Arkadelphia. You're going to have to watch Dallas County now. You're going to have to watch the Cleveland area. You're going to have to watch Fordyce down towards Calhoun, Washita County down here. You're going to have to watch that closely. But remember, a lot of storms are moving due southeast. Now they're starting to make that turn due south at this point. So I would say watch that very closely here. Lake Village, it should be on top of you guys probably within that 7 to 8 o'clock time frame at this point. I'm going to zoom this out so you guys can see exactly what we're meaning here. Now, I will say the flooding threat has gone down significantly with this, given the fact that this is moving a lot faster than it did before. And the tornado threat has gone down significantly here. The tornado threat wasn't high to begin with, but you can definitely see what I'm talking about here. Right through this area is where you're going to have to watch for that damaging wind potential. So we're going to go back over to our downdraft gust potential, and you're going to see that pop up here shortly here. And you can see right here, okay? And then that means zoom down that far, but you can see what I mean here. So I'm going to stop radar for just a bit, but you can see the darker purples that you're seeing, that 60 to 70 mile per hour winds coming into the storm here, okay? So you're watching these storms very closely, producing 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts, all right? So that's for the Brinkley area, that's Monroe County. That's over here in Lonoke going into Jefferson and Arkansas County. You've got some 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts coming into Grant County now. Now coming into Hot Springs County, and then eventually it's going to make its way down into Dallas County at this point here, okay? So watch this situation very closely. We're going to keep you guys updated on the latest here. And so before, we're going to monitor updates at this point. And see here, everything's looking to go. I'm not seeing any sort of new updates from the National Weather Service at this point. But we do have some new information here. So, the power outages. Remember, we were at 24,000 earlier. We are now up to 41,000 people without power across the natural state at this time here. That should immediately tell you the power of this line of storms as they're pushing due south and southeast at this current time here. 41,000 people are without power at this current time. If you know anybody that needs radar updates or information with everything that's going on in the natural state right now, send them to this live stream. Tag them in this live stream at this current time here. We've been live for over an hour. I intend to keep this live stream going as long as physically possible here, guys. That way you guys can stay informed on the latest here. You're not getting bombarded with radar updates constantly on the page here, okay? So I'm going to zoom this out and show you guys what's going on here. So now our focus has gone from northern and northwestern Arkansas to central, and now our focus is beginning to come down into southern and southeastern Arkansas. Northern and northeastern Arkansas, you're good to go. You're A-OK. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys out there in northern and northeastern Arkansas, you're perfectly good for the rest of the evening. I don't think you're going to see any more thunderstorms up there unless something has significantly changed up there at this point here. But I will be focused on more western and northwestern Arkansas as we get towards this evening here. But Pam, to answer your question, I don't say the system hasn't slowed down. I say the line itself has kind of slowed down, because I want to say this. This line of storms, by the way, is not the cold front. This is not the cold front. Your cold front is back in Missouri right now, okay? So this line of storms, that tells you how fast it's moving through the area, and has surged about 100+ miles away from the cold front itself. So what's going on is this line is hitting the ridging that's to our east. And basically the ridging is kind of holding it in place as much as it physically can, but eventually the ridging is going to start collapsing because of the front moving in. Okay, so that's what's going on right now. That's pushing due southeast at this point, but I'm starting to see a little bit of a turn. Instead of due southeast, I would say more south to southeast at this point, kind of making a turn down into south central Arkansas at this point. But to kind of repeat to you guys, 41,000 people are without power right now here at this point. And I want to address a comment I saw in the live stream here about not a lot of people tuning in. The problem I have right now, especially with this amount of power outages, a lot of people may not be able to tune in because of the fact that a lot of the power outages across the board here. So if you know anybody without power at this point, and if you have power, kind of give them that information, say, hey, this is what's going on at this current time here, and this is what we're watching at this point. But there's a lot of people that may be without power, so that may explain why not a lot of people can't tune in because of the power outages here. But we're seeing at about 41,000 people without power. And the new hotspot, by the way, has become Perry County, which is over here along Interstate 40. That's that. Remember that 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gust I was showing you guys with radar earlier? That's what's pushing through the area at this current time here. Okay, so we're going to watch the situation closely, but I would say Hot Springs, Dallas, Grant, Cleveland, Jefferson, Arkansas, Lincoln, Cleveland, I repeated that, Cleveland, Lincoln, Arkansas, Monroe, Lee, and Phillips County. Watch the situation closely, guys. This is what we got going at this point here. 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts and the hail threat, but I think the hail threat is starting to decline a little bit. This is mainly becoming a damaging wind threat across eastern and southeastern Arkansas at this current time here. But central Arkansas, you are good to go at this current point. Everybody else in northern, northwestern, northeastern Arkansas right now, you're clear. I'm mainly focused for central and southeastern Arkansas. So if you know anyone that needs information, tag them in this live stream, etc. But I do realize we have a significant amount of people without power across the natural state at this current time here. So just kind of keep that in mind as well here. There's a lot of people that are tuning in that don't have power and are trying to listen in as well here. Okay, so the Cabot area right now, you're good to go at this point. Any damage, is it Vicky? I'm gonna kind of relay that message. If y'all see any damage or from the Malvern area, please let me know. And also feel free to inbox us that as well here, because that really helps with trying to put one and one together with radar and ground reports as well here. So if y'all have any reports of damage, etc., feel free to send them our way here, guys. Okay, so let me see here. Let me double check everything at this point. Right now we're sitting at 41,000 people without power. 41,440 people without power. The latest from the from Energy, power will not be restored until noon tomorrow. Okay, power will not be restored across this area here until noon tomorrow. So keep that in mind. That's why I'm telling you guys in southern and southeastern Arkansas, go ahead and charge your phones. That way you guys can stay informed on the latest here. Okay, and you can keep your phones on as well. So if you lose power tonight, Energy is immediately saying that it's going to be noon tomorrow before you get your power back on at this point. That goes for your Greenbrier area as well here. So it's going to be noon tomorrow until your power comes back on across the natural state if you lose power with this line of storms here. So it's very crucial that you guys keep your phones charged, etc. here. Okay, so Lonoke County, we got a new report. 56 mile per hour wind gusts coming in the Carlisle area over there. And in Lonoke County, that's over here just east of the metro at this point. We got a new severe thunderstorm warning that just got issued. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys this graphically here. So I'm going to take this out just a little bit. And it's going to go for Jefferson, Cleveland, Lincoln, Arkansas, and Monroe counties at this point. This is going to go until 6 o'clock this evening. 60 mile per hour wind gusts, 1 inch hail with that storm here as it's pushing out towards the southeast here. So please keep that in mind here, guys. This is something that we're going to watch very, very closely over the next couple of over the next hour or so here down here in southeastern Arkansas. And if you're just now tuning in, we are live, keeping you guys informed with severe weather coverage across the board. If you need information, feel free to tag your family and friends in this live stream. We'll keep you guys updated on the latest here. Okay, so let me see here. Okay, what's saying here? All right, make sure we're not seeing any more reports here at this point here. Okay, so I'm not seeing anything else right now. We just had those line of storms moving into southeastern Arkansas at this current time here. Okay, so the Greenbrier area, I've already gotten to you. Cabot, I've already gotten to you as well. Also, since we have just this area of warnings right now, I can answer a few questions. I can't get to everybody, but I can try to answer a few questions for everybody across the board, because I know a lot of people are kind of tuning in, trying to get their questions answered here. So I can answer a few while we're kind of in a quiet period right now, but this is what we got going at this point here. So radar indicated 60 mile per hour wind gusts and 1 inch chill with the storms. Arkansas, Cleveland, Grant, Jefferson, Lincoln, and Monroe counties until 6 p.m. this evening here, folks. So to repeat, anybody that's wondering about power outages as well, please tell them that energy is not focusing, not putting the energy into restoring power until around noon tomorrow. That's when the majority of the lights should start coming back on, by noon tomorrow here. So they're going to be trying to get to your power as quickly as we can, but we got a lot of people without power right now here, guys. So we're talking right around that noon time frame for tomorrow here for the power to start coming back on across the state here. So right now I think we were still sitting at 41,000. Let me double check on that real quickly. Yeah, we're still sitting at 41,000 at this point. As of 4:48, we're still getting a lot of reports in as well, so I'm expecting that number to jump significantly over the next couple of hours here. Okay, so for the Phillips County area here, okay, you've got storms moving in within the next 30 to 40 minutes here. If I'm in Phillips County right now, I'll go ahead and charge my phone just to be on the safe side for the potential seeing power outages across the board. This line of storms has a history of tree damage and also power outages across the board. Keep that in mind. If I'm in Phillips County right now, I'd go ahead and charge my phone here. If I'm in Lincoln County, Arkansas County, Cleveland, Dallas, Clark County, I'd go ahead and charge my phone just to be on the safe side. If you're in Dumas, if you're in Monticello right now, go ahead and charge your phones. Go ahead and have your phones ready to go. That way you're good to go across the board here. But these storms are moving due southeast at this point here. You're going from south-southeast to now due southeast now, and they're trying to make a turn at this point, but they just can't fully do it. And as said before, you're going to have to watch these storms over here in western Arkansas here, but we'll let you guys know on that once we get past this line of storms at this point here, okay? So will this help with tonight's storms? Yes, that will help. This line of storms that's moving through right now, it will help with the environment, and it will help stabilize the environment to kind of keep the thunderstorms from being too severe later on this evening and into the night. However, for our folks in western Arkansas, remember, you just got through dealing with this, and you've had a couple of hours of recovery period. So what does that mean? That means severe thunderstorms will be possible once again over there in western Arkansas as you get towards this afternoon and into this evening and into the night. Gonna watch it closely. I'll let you guys know on that right now. Not right now, excuse me. I'll let you guys know as soon as we get past this line of storms that's pushing through at this current point here. Okay, so just lost power in Stuttgart right now. So before I do hope that you guys are charging your phones, etc. here, because before we're getting a lot of power outages coming in at this point here, and I think that 41 right now is going to be increased significantly with the next update here. So right now we're sitting at 41,440 people without power across the board. The majority of the power outages coming from Perry, Lonoke, Pulaski, Faulkner, Johnson, Logan, Garland, and also Hot Springs County at this point. Also Jackson and Stone counties at this current time here. 41,000 people without power at this current time here. So keep that in mind. If you are ahead of this line of storms, go ahead and charge your phones at this current point here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this down just a little bit. Okay, and we'll show you guys this right now at this point, and you guys can see where the latest updates here is going on at the bottom corner of your screen here. New severe thunderstorm warning going on at this point here. Let's go ahead and put a track on this. So we're going to go ahead and go back over to our radar for just a bit. All right, and we're going to put a track on these storms here. So they're moving southeast, I'd say roughly at about 40 miles per hour here, okay? So there's a lot of storms through here. It's going to put a track about 40 miles per hour through here, all right? So there's a lot of storms through here right now. Sparkman, Rising, DeWitt, the Grady area, over towards Fordyce, down towards Bearden, down towards Dumas, Warren, and down even towards Monticello. Monticello, you're going to be dealing with this a little bit after 5 o'clock. I'm going to zoom this out so you guys can see a little bit on what's going on here. Okay, so there's a lot of storms. There's a track. At this point, it's moving due southeast at this point here, okay? So that's what I'm saying here. You're going to have to watch that very, very closely here as we get towards this hour or so, from Dallas to Calhoun to Bradley, Cleveland, Lincoln, Drew, DeShay counties, Arkansas County, Phillips County, Lee County. Watch this line closely. It has the history of producing tree damage and also damaging winds across the board here at this current time here, guys. So I said before, if you know anyone that needs this information, feel free to send them our way, guys. We'll keep you guys updated on the latest here, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and do this over again, and you can see what's going on here. There's a new severe thunderstorm warning that just got issued for Phillips County over here. That's going to go for 60 mile per hour wind gusts. The hail threat's starting to come down. That's the good news. But 60 mile per hour wind gusts will be the main threat with these storms as they're pushing out towards the south and east here. So I would say that with these storms kind of moving due south and east here, there is somewhat of capping inversion down here in southeastern Arkansas that may try to weaken this line as it's pushing due southeast, but we're going to have to wait and see what happens at this point here. Will MENA see storms? Yes, I think you will see storms as we get towards this evening and into tonight here. So what I'm going to do for just a bit, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can go over to our, give me 1 second here, I'm going to go over to our HR for just a bit. I don't know if it's going to let me at this point because I am doing live coverage at this time here. But I'm going to try to see if I can get that up for you guys so you can kind of look and see on what we could be expecting as we get towards the evening here. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. So we're going to go ahead and switch this over. Okay, give me 1 second here. Alright, so okay, so never mind. It's not going to let me switch it over here. But you get the gist of what I'm talking about here. So basically the area of concern would be over here in western Arkansas here. So I can try to draw this out for you guys. So basically right over here, that's where your thunderstorms are going to be starting to develop as you get towards this evening and the night. So before, I'd say 6 to 8 o'clock over here, starting in northwestern Arkansas and eventually making its way down into southwestern Arkansas here. And you can see what's going on, and the reason why you still had a severe threat over here, because the line of storms is way over here. Okay, so that's wiping out your environment over here, but you still have the instability going on across western Arkansas at this point. So that's what I'm saying. You're going to have to watch that as we get towards your 6-8 p.m. time frame. I think the primary threats with that will be hail and wind. The tornado threat should be relatively low across the natural state at this current time here, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and lead this up. And also I'm going to continue to keep you guys informed on the latest on this. But I'm going to zoom this down so you guys can see what's going on here. So this is in southeastern Arkansas now, by the way. Alright, and now this is starting to go, and we just got a new warning, by the way, for Dallas and Cleveland County. That's going to go until 6 o'clock. That's going to go for potential 60 mile per hour wind gusts with these storms as they push out towards the southeast here. And as I said before, if you're listening to me as well, we do have more severe weather that we're going to have to contend with as we get towards your Friday time frame here. We do have a slight risk for much of northern and western Arkansas here, portions of central Arkansas for Friday. I will have more on that as we get towards tomorrow, as we'll have some cooler air in place with the cold front moving through here. But definitely more severe weather potential as we get towards the late part of this upcoming week here, guys. So this is not our last rodeo. We're going to keep you guys informed. Let's take a look at power outages for just a bit. Okay, so we're still sitting at about 41,000 power outages right now. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at everything right now here. Okay, so we got new reports coming in from Desart, which is in Perry County. Reports of multiple trees down on power lines in Desart relayed from the National Weather Service chat here. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. That's in Perry County. We have multiple trees down. Also, we have a tree that has fallen on a power line at North Hills Boulevard, which is just north of Crestwood, which is in Pulaski County or in North Little Rock. Okay, so multiple trees down reports, lots of power outages, and as said before, that 41,000 is probably fixing to get ready to jump significantly with the next update here. And I'm constantly waiting to see when we're going to get that next update here. But we're going to watch it closely, guys. Right now, we're seeing currently at 41,000 people without power. I think that's probably going to jump to probably the 60,000 range by the time we get towards the next 5 to 10 minutes, guys, as we're getting new information in at this point here. Okay, so let me see before. Let me zoom this out. Okay, there's a line of storms coming through. Dallas, Cleveland County severe thunderstorm warning. Lee and Phillips County severe thunderstorm warning as well. I'm expecting an additional severe thunderstorm warning that's going to go out for the remainder of Jefferson, Arkansas County, Lincoln, DeShay, and Drew County down here in southeastern Arkansas. We are going to watch additional storms over here in western Arkansas at this point. But right now, I'd say from any interest from Little Rock, points north and west, you should be good to go for at least a little bit. We are going to watch for the additional thunderstorm developments as we get towards the afternoon and into this evening, guys. But it's definitely been a rocky day for us here across the national state here, guys. A very active day across the board. Multiple reports of tree damage, multiple reports of power lines down, etc. here. We're still sitting at about 41,000 at this point, waiting for the newest update to come in. I'll let you guys know when that comes out here. But right now, we're still sitting at about 41,000 people without power across the natural state. Keep in mind, if you are in southeastern Arkansas, I'd go ahead and charge your phones just to be on the safe side. And right now, just speaking of charging, we're good to go over here. And the weather center, we're perfectly fine. The storms have moved away from the metro, so we're fine. So we'll continue to keep you guys updated. But it's for if you know anyone that needs these reports, feel free to send them our way here, guys. We're getting a lot of reports of no power in the Stuttgart area right now here. And this is what we have from Grant to Jefferson to Dallas to Cleveland County to Phillips to Lee County. That's where your line of storms are moving through. Tree damage and power line damage will be your primary hazards as we get towards this evening and into the night here, guys. Okay, so I'm taking a look at messages at this point. Let me see here. Like so forth. If y'all have any reports, if you can do it safely, if you have any reports, please let me know at this current time here. Okay, so let me see here. We got a new report. This is from Victoria. Got the one from earlier that was in Jacksonville, excuse me, Julie. I saw that one earlier in Russellville of reports of trees down across the area here, guys. And as said before, I'm gonna go ahead and make a post on the page here. As a matter of fact, hold on, Noah or Dustin, if y'all can make a post on the page real fast here about damage. If anybody has damage reports, please send them our way. We do have a sponsor that will get out and come to you guys in terms of getting your tree damage and stuff reported and all that. That's going to be from local roofing and construction. So if you have any tree damage, etc., please feel free to message us, guys. We'll get you guys set up with that as well here. Okay, but we're getting a lot of reports of trees down and power outages across the board here. Okay, so this line of storms ended up moving a lot quicker than originally anticipated. We had this moving through right around 3 o'clock, and it just ended up coming in right around 11 o'clock this morning here. So this line of storms does not listen to model guidance or anything like that. It just completely surged due to natural state very, very quickly here, and that's where you had the damaging wind potential for today here, guys. So let me see here. All right, so we have a new report from the Storm Prediction Center. New mesoscale that just went out. This is going to go for West Central and Central Mississippi, Northern Louisiana. I think this includes Southern Arkansas as well here. They do foresee an additional watch getting issued down there. That's going to go until probably later on this evening here. So we're going to have to watch it closely here. But an MCS is moving through Central and Eastern Arkansas right now, producing 50 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts with this. The severe risk will start to wane this evening, but with the unstable air mass in place and adequate deep layer shear, that's where you're going to start having the storm organization. That's where you're going to continue to have the damaging wind potential, guys. So that includes those areas down there in southeastern Arkansas and the Mississippi at this point here. Okay, so keep that in mind at this time here. I'm also going to go back over to our power outages, and so before we got the newest update here. We've gone from 41 to up to 46,000 people without power. I still think that number is a little bit underdone because we're going to have more people tuning in, more people reporting power outages across the board. So right now we're seeing in about 46,000 people without power across the natural state here. I'm going to go ahead and go over to Perry County. There are near 2,000 people without power at this point here in Perry County at this time here, guys. So please keep that in mind here. Also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the storm reports. Okay, so we're going to switch this over. Give me 1 second and return on local storm reports at this point, and you're going to see it. And basically, this tells you the story here. A lot of wind damage across this area here. We'll read you guys some of the reports that you're seeing right now as well here. So we're talking power lines reported down around Garland County. A roof was completely blown off of a storage building around the 600 block of Albert Pike Road in Hot Springs. We had a report over here in Perry County of trees down, completely blocking the road over here. This was earlier on, about 3 o'clock this afternoon. The latest one, we got one for about 4 o'clock this evening. There was thunderstorm wind damage right around 56 miles per hour, excuse me. Wind damage reports of multiple trees down on power lines in the Desark. Multiple trees down across this area here, guys, so you can see the general area of where the thunderstorm activity is right now here. Okay, right through here. All right, that's where your damage has been reported across this area here. So just kind of keep that in mind across the board. We're going to watch this closely here, but this line is not going to fizzle out. Okay, this line is going to continue to move due south and east here, and I will say I'm going to watch this closely here, and I'm watching this one down here near Dallas at this point here, and I'm going to go over to our rotation indicator at this point here. So I'm going to go back over to this, and I'm starting to notice a little bit area of rotation here. Now, I don't think this is going to go to a warning because it's along the line here, but it's on the southern end. But I would watch this closely, especially in Dallas County at this current time here. Okay, so we've got 2 severe thunderstorm warnings at this point. All right, this is what we got at this current time here. Severe thunderstorm warning over here for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and then you have the one in Phillips County at this current time here. But I'm going to watch that close over here in Dallas County here. I'm going to go back over to it, but you can see how it's kind of separating away from the main line here, and it's starting to rotate just a little bit over here in Dallas County. We're going to watch it closely. The tornado threat at 74 should be very, very low, but I'm going to monitor it very, very closely. If a tornado warning gets issued, we'll be here. But right now, I think mainly a hail and wind potential with this line of storms as it continues to move due southeast at this current time here. Okay, so Dallas, Cleveland County, Phillips County, the only one severe thunderstorm warning right now. If this severe thunderstorm warnings continue to decrease, then we will break away from live coverage, and then we'll go back to our radar updates on the page here. But this tells you everything you need to know about this line of storms. Damaging winds will be the main hazard across this area here at this time here. Okay, so we're going to watch it very closely at this time here. This is moving due southeast into southeastern Arkansas. So I'm going to put a kind of a path through here. So I'm going to say basically through here. Okay, so that's Dallas, Calhoun, Bradley, Ashley, Drew, Cleveland, Jefferson, Arkansas, Lincoln, Deshae, Phillips County, and down towards Ashley and Chico County. That's where the line of storms is moving towards, and that's where it's going to impact within the next hour to 2 hours at this time here. Okay, so Fordyce, Monticello, Dumas, Crossit, Greenville, over towards Lake Village, over towards the Dermont area, down towards over here towards DeWitt. Go ahead and have your phones charged. That way you guys are good to go at this current time here. We're going to watch the situation very, very closely here at this point here, guys. But this is what we have at this point here. This entire line is moving due southeast at this current time here. We're going to watch the situation very closely, guys. If you know anyone who needs radar updates, etc., tag them in this live stream here. We're going to keep you guys informed on the latest here. But this is a zoomed out version, show you guys what's going on across the state. Not much, except for the squall line moving through. We've got some storms trying to go up over here in Scott and Polk County. Non-severe right now, but we're going to have to watch that closely. We've got some storms starting to go up over there in western Arkansas. Non-severe at this current time here, but 2 severe thunderstorm warnings remain on the board at this point. Severe thunderstorm warning over here until 5:45. That's going to go, give me 1 second here, we'll pull this up. That's going to go for western Lee, Phillips, and also Mississippi County over there. County in Mississippi until 5:45. So thunderstorm located in Holly Grove, moving southeast, at 60 miles per hour here. Okay, so 30 miles per hour, producing 60 mile per hour wind gusts. All right, so let me go over to this one real quickly. Dallas and Cleveland County. That's going to go for until 6 o'clock, producing 60 mile per hour wind gusts, moving southeast at 35 miles per hour, mainly for the potential of 60 mile per hour wind gusts and nickel size hail. That's for the Arkadelphia area, Fordyce, etc. here down here in southern and southeastern Arkansas at this current time here, guys. So we're going to continue to monitor the situation closely. Right now, we're seeing at about 520, so I'm going to let the radar kind of loop at this current time here. If I do go quiet for a little bit, that's reading reports and stuff like that. We don't have a lot going on here, but I'm kind of keeping the live stream up. That way you guys can come straight to here for radar updates at this current time here. Okay, so this is what we have at this point. We'll go ahead and take this down just a little bit, but you can see what we have at this current point here. The line of storms kind of moving through southern and southeastern Arkansas at this current time here. This is capable of producing damaging wind gusts up to 60 to 70 miles per hour, and also the potential of large hail with these storms here. We're going to watch the situation closely. So before, we'll continue to keep you guys updated on this. All right. So latest updates from the power outages still sitting at about 46,000. We have new reports coming out of social media from Stuttgart area here, guys, and we have large tree that has fallen onto a road inside of Stuttgart. So this is in Arkansas County, Stuttgart. You have tree damage now coming in the Stuttgart area, wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. So keep that in mind here. So this line is still capable of producing damaging wind, guys. I mean, there's no getting around this line here, especially for our folks down here in southeastern Arkansas. So I know you guys down there in southeastern Arkansas, you don't have a lot of weather coverage. If you know anybody that needs that coverage, tag them in this live stream, guys. I cannot stress that enough at this point here. If you know anyone that needs that coverage, please tag them in this live stream here. That's going to go for southeastern Arkansas at this point. And we'll zoom this out and show you guys what was going on here. So we're going to turn the watches on for just a little bit. Give me 1 second here. We'll go back to where I had it. All right, let me go back over to this. So this is going to be the watches at this point, okay? So the severe thunderstorm watch for northern Arkansas has been allowed to be canceled, okay? We still have this watch over here. That's going to go until 10 p.m. So there's a new watch over here in western Arkansas that's going to go until 10 o'clock this evening, all right? And then you have another watches down here in southern Arkansas until 9 o'clock. And you see before, there's a new watch that just went out for Ashley and Chico County down here in southeastern Arkansas. That's going to go, I mean, 1 second, we'll read to you guys new information with this one. That one's going to go until 9 o'clock down there in southeastern Arkansas. So just kind of keep that in mind across the board here. These severe thunderstorm watches are here for a reason. This is for potential damaging winds and also the 60 mile per hour wind gusts over here. And then so for over here in western and southwestern Arkansas, we're going to have to watch this corridor closely for the potential of seeing additional thunderstorms. It's going to go from 6 to 10 p.m. I had 8 earlier, but I'll go 6 to 10 p.m. at this point here across this area here. That's from Washington all the way down to Miller County down here in southwestern Arkansas here, okay? So we're going to watch this close. We'll keep you guys updated on this. So for Miranda, okay, so there's a large tree down across Main Street in Stuttgart near Atlantis Car Wash. That is crazy, guys. That's what I'm saying. The damaging wind potential with this is absolutely insane here, producing a lot of tree damage and a lot of power outages across the board here. So if y'all need any information, tag them in this live stream, guys. We're going to keep this up. And so before, if new information comes in, as a matter of fact, we just got new information from National Weather Service in Little Rock. Law enforcement has reported trees down in Lone Oak. So before, this line, even though it is still moving due southeast, this is what we have at this current time here, okay? So I'm going to take the radar off for just a little bit. I'm going to take this off and show you guys what we have for just a second here, okay? So this is a new watch at this point. All right, so this is the radar. I'm taking the radar off for just a little bit. All right, give me 1 second here. Take off severe thunderstorm warning at the point as well. All right, so this is the new watch that's in effect over here in western Arkansas until 10 o'clock this evening here. All right, and you have one down here until 9 o'clock. You have one in central Arkansas until 6. That's supposed to get ready to expire. And then you have the one over here in eastern Arkansas until 9 o'clock as well here. So we're watching this situation closely. Down here in southeastern Arkansas, you got one until 9 o'clock. All of these are going to expire right around 9 to 10 o'clock this evening here, okay? So we're going to watch the situation very, very closely here, guys. But as you can see, a max wind gust upwards to 80 mile per hour wind gusts, guys. That is capable of producing damaging winds, trees down, and power outages across the board here. So that's what we got going on at this point. I'm going to take this off for just a second, and I'm going to turn the radar back on for just a bit. If y'all need anyone that needs radar updates, send them our way, guys. This is what we're here. This is why we're here. We keep you guys updated on the latest here, okay? Also, everyone, I'm still here, by the way. As I said before, if I do go quiet, I am reading reports and stuff like that. We do have a lot of information coming in at this current time here. But as I said before, if you need anyone that needs radar updates, feel free to tag them in this live stream here. This is what we got going right now. A damaging line moving through southeastern Arkansas at this point. Severe thunderstorm warning for Dallas County over there and also Phillips County at this point. If these severe thunderstorm warnings drop off, we will break away from coverage. But I want to stress, even though you're not under a warning, you need to take cover around this line here because it is capable of producing tree damage and it also is capable of producing hail as well here. Okay, so everybody's asking about, I have one question from the Darnell area. I think in much of north and north central Arkansas, I think you should be good to go. We're going to have to wait and see what happens with that second round. But with this line of storms kind of coming through, it did clear your atmosphere off a little bit. So that will help in terms of keeping the severe weather down for this evening and into the night here. But we will have to watch western Arkansas as you get towards this evening and into the nighttime hours here, guys. But so before, those are the 2 severe thunderstorm warnings across the board at this time here. The wind has picked up quite a bit over there in Poplar Grove, that's near Marvel at this current time here. Pretty windy in Stuttgart right now. I did get that report about the tree being blown down on Main Street. At this point here, trees down at our house 10 miles south of Stuttgart at this current time here, guys. So a lot of tree damage being reported. And if you know anybody that has tree damage, feel free to inbox us. We do have a sponsor that will come out and take care of that tree damage for you guys here. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind here because we're getting a lot of people reporting a lot of tree damage across the board, and that's what I'm saying. Even if you're without the warning, you still need to take your not tornado precautions, your wind precautions. That's getting away from the windows. It's getting away from the exterior walls as well here. Capable of producing 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts here. Okay, so if the line has passed through while there's still a warning, basically what they do is just let the warning expire. Basically, when the warning expires, then the warning will go away here. But sometimes the warning will still be there even though the storm has passed over the area to kind of account for the rest of the county and then the county next to it as well here. So they'll get to it. They'll kind of trim the warnings down as needed here. But Dallas, Cleveland, and Phillips County are under the warnings right now here. And so before this line of storms moving through southeast Arkansas at this current time here, capable of producing damaging winds, tree damage, and also potential power outages as well. Latest power outages at this point sitting at 46,135 people without power right now here across the natural state here. Estimated storage time looks to be noon tomorrow across much of the natural state here. Fortunately for everybody, cold front moves through tonight and it's not going to be terribly hot tomorrow. I know we got thrown into the deep fryer on Friday here, Friday and much of last week here, but cold front's moving through tonight, so we should not be too bad in terms of the temperatures tomorrow here, but just kind of watch it closely, especially for folks down in southern Arkansas at this current time here. So we're watching the situation closely, guys. So before 2 severe thunderstorm warnings, we're going to let these 2 expire, and once they expire, we may break away from coverage briefly and have radar updates kind of getting to you guys on the page here. Okay, so this is going to go until 6 o'clock. And this one over here is going to go until 5:45 here. Okay, so big limb just fell on power line across the street in DeWitt. It was on fire, and the line eventually snapped. Hot line on the ground right now here, man. That is a crazy report. And as I said before, and you're looking at this line, and you're kind of looking at it, and you're like, man, where's the damage coming from this? It doesn't look that impressive on radar here, but this is still doing a lot of damage across southeastern Arkansas, from Grant to Jefferson to Arkansas to Phillips County. This is still doing a lot of tree damage, a lot of power outage damage here. So just kind of keep that in mind here. There's a lot of energy behind that little line pushing through southeastern Arkansas right now here. So keep that in mind, folks. If you need information, feel free to come to this live stream. I do appreciate that report that I just got in at this current time here. But yeah, definitely, that is a crazy report coming out of the DeWitt area right now here, coming out of good old Arkansas County here. As a matter of fact, I don't know if she's in this live stream or not, but I'm hoping Donna, one of my personal friends, is doing okay down there in southeastern Arkansas here, guys. So, as I said before, trees down our house 10 miles south of Stuttgart at this point. Let me see here. Big tree just went down in Stuttgart. Getting a lot of damage reports in Arkansas County right now, which is shocking because you guys are not even under a severe thunderstorm warning, and it's still producing damage here. So keep that in mind here. Let me double check something real fast and make sure we're not missing anything. I think you guys are under you should be at least under a special weather statement or something. There should have been a warning over there in Arkansas County just for that, but just in any case, still treat that line as if it were a severe thunderstorm warning. Get inside and get away from windows at this current time here. Okay, so let me see here. Basically, so where that report came from, that was in DeWitt, Arkansas, which is in Arkansas County here. So basically, I can zoom it down and let's take a look at it real quickly here. So DeWitt is going to be right here. That's in Arkansas County right here, and you can see that line. The line is just now making it to the DeWitt area. You already got damage from that line here, so it's still capable of producing damaging wind gusts upwards to 60 to 70 miles per hour here. Okay, so keep that in mind across the board here. And as I said before, if you need that information, take a look at the bottom corner of your screen as well. That red bar, you see the reports just coming in as well here. The new severe thunderstorm warnings coming in at this point here as well here. Okay, so we're going to zoom this out, and as I said before, we're going to watch the situation very, very closely here across the board here. But that's a severe thunderstorm warning in place across the natural state at this current time here. And we'll go ahead and take a look at this. Give me 1 second. I'm going to take this off for just a little bit here, so we should be good to go in terms of that here, guys. But as I said before, we're going to watch the situation very closely, guys. Let me see here if y'all have any damage reports. Also, treat this live stream for damage reports as well here. Kind of like a community feed, if you want to call it that. If y'all have damage, feel free to tell us. That way we can relay the information to the National Weather Service, guys. But we have a lot of information coming in at this point here. Let me see if I can get a new update with this. Okay, so now we have jumped significantly with the power outage deal, guys. We got 51,000 people without power across the natural state here. Southeast Arkansas is getting tore up right now with power outages and tree damage across the board here. So 51,347 people without power across the natural state at this current time here. The majority in central, east central, and now southeastern Arkansas with this line of storms moving in. So if you know anybody that needs information in southeast Arkansas, feel free to send them our way, guys. We're here for a reason. We'll keep you guys informed here. But right now, our total power outages have jumped significantly up to 51,347 people without power at this point here. Estimated storage time is going to be noon tomorrow. Fortunately for us, temperatures are going to be in the 70s to low 80s across the state tomorrow. Should not be terribly bad, but we'll watch it closely here. And I'm praying that cold front makes it through, because if the cold front doesn't make it through, then we may be dealing with the upper 80s, low 90s tomorrow here. But I think the cold front should make it through the natural state as you get towards tomorrow, late tonight and into tomorrow here, guys. Okay, so let me zoom this out. All right, give you guys an update. We'll zoom this out real quickly here. So forth, this is what we got going at this point down here in southeastern Arkansas County, down to Cleveland, Dallas, into Phillips County. That's where the line of storms is at this point here. I'm going to watch the situation very closely here. Give me 1 second. Alright, give me 1 second. Okay, alright, so let me see here. Part of Conway County without power from storms today. Lights are off in the Marville area. Let me see here. The wind's really blowing hard in Poplar Grove at this point here. So forth, this is pushing through eastern and southeastern Arkansas at this current time here. And so forth, just kind of use this live stream like a community feed. If y'all have damage reports, please fill up, send them our way here. I know there's a lot going on across the state here, so feel free to send them our way here, guys. We'll keep you guys updated on that here. But let me see here. Heavy winds in the Fordyce area, so you're getting storms now coming into southern Arkansas at this current time here. Okay, so let me see here. Give me 1 second here. Trees down. I saw that report as well. Okay, all right. And I also thank you guys for the stars as well. I'm gonna make this clear to you guys. The ones that are sending the stars, the money from that goes back into what you're seeing on the screen right now here. Everything that you're seeing on the screen in terms of the radar, in terms of the warnings, all the information that you're seeing on the screen right now is where you guys' money is going into the equipment here. So we really do appreciate y'all for doing that. Not recommended or anything like that, but I do appreciate you guys for doing that here. Okay, so excessive wind and all-time over there. That's in eastern Arkansas right now. Those storms are quickly moving to the east, and I want to say I think we're going to be done with this line within the next hour or so. I'm just waiting for it to get into Cleveland and to Lincoln County, and it's going to make its way towards Bradley, Drew, and Shea County at this current time here. So I'm going to keep this live stream up because I know there's folks down there in southeastern Arkansas that do not have weather coverage right now, and I'm going to keep this live stream up so you guys can have that available for y'all. So I'm going to keep this up going across the board here. We got 2 severe thunderstorm warnings right now, and you can just see on radar, I mean, a massive squall line kind of moving down into southeastern Arkansas at this current time here. We're getting a lot of reports in the inbox as well. I do appreciate y'all for sending that at this point here. But yeah, I'm going to keep this live stream up and going. I do realize we're going to got 2 warnings on the board right now, but I know there's some folks down there in southeastern Arkansas that don't have coverage at this point. So we're going to have that up for you guys here at this current time here. Okay, so got a new picture in from the DeWitt area at this point here. Okay, so beautiful structure coming out of the DeWitt area with a lot of storms kind of moving through at this current point here. And it's simple. I sent one comment, Crystal. For some reason, Facebook does that. I have no idea why. But yeah, so let me see here. Man, I'm getting a lot of tree damage reports too, guys. A lot of inboxes about the tree damage too. So that's what I'm saying here, guys. We're going to watch the situation very, very closely across the board here. But southeastern Arkansas is taking a brunt right now with the damaged wind there. So new report coming out from National Service in Little Rock, Montgomery County. Let's see here. A tree was reported down in Manford Road, which is in Kettle Gate, which is in Montgomery County here. So Montgomery County at this point is going to be well over here in western Arkansas. Also, that one storm that kind of moved through, we had a tree reported down over there in Montgomery County at this current time here. So current outages sit at 51,347 people without power at this current point. The majority right now is in Lonoke County at this current point here. So I want to stress that so much, guys. Take these severe thunderstorm warnings seriously. I don't know if they're going to extend it. I would say we'll have to watch to see what happens. But let's take a look at it real fast here. Let's go ahead and zoom this down and show you guys just graphically on what's going on here. Okay, so that goes from Lee to Phillips to Arkansas, down to Cleveland, down to Dallas County at this point. We're going to have to watch this line very, very closely as it's diving due southeast at this current time here. Let me go ahead and switch this over to our, give me 1 second, switch it over to our downdraft gust potential at this point, and there it is right here, and you're going to see that. So basically what you see here in the darker purples that you're seeing on our radar here, basically that's a lot of 60 to 70 mile per hour winds kind of moving through. So I'm expecting damage reports in Dallas County, expecting reports in Cleveland. I'm definitely expecting reports coming out of Phillips County here in just a little bit, with that line kind of just hauling through across that area here. You can see the darker purples over here in the Phillips County area here. That is reporting almost 70 mile per hour winds over here in Phillips County at this current time. And we'll zoom this down and show you guys what's going on here. Okay, so this is in Jefferson County, 60 mile per hour wind gusts coming in. We got Cleveland County a little over 60 at this point. By the way, 60 mile per hour wind gust is more than enough to bring down trees and power lines, so just kind of keep that in mind here. But you can definitely see on our radar where the line of storms is kind of pushing through at this point. So it's now going into Cleveland, Lincoln, Arkansas County, Phillips, and out into Shea and Drew County at this current time here. So before, live stream is still going to continue. Like I said before, I know there's some folks down in southeast Arkansas that's not getting the coverage right now, so we're going to keep this up. If you know anyone down there that needs this information, feel free to send them our way. Many power lines and trees down in the Stuttgart area. Just got a new report in from Carly. Let me go ahead and take a look at that real quickly here. But yeah, power lines and trees down across the Stuttgart area at this current time here. Severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Arkansas, Cleveland, Shea, Drew, Jefferson, and Lincoln County until 6:45. So you can see that the new warning that just got issued for National Service in Little Rock, and that's just going to go for the entire line at this point. So Lincoln, Shea, Drew, Cleveland counties. That is where the line of storms is going to push through. We're going to continue to keep you guys updated on that. But so before, this line stretches from all the way back into northwestern Arkansas, all the way down into southeastern Arkansas. This is capable of producing tree damage and power lines across the board here at this current time here. Okay, so let me see here. Okay, so this is what we got going at this current time here. There's a line of storms moving through. Let me see here. Alright, so we got winds that are bad in Phillips right now. I don't have any trees down. That's hard to tell. Thank you for that report. Let me see here. Lake Village, it will be coming down into Lake Village. As a matter of fact, I think this may skip Lake Village just to the north. So we'll have to watch it close. But definitely a lot of wind reports coming in at this current time here. So Cleveland, Lincoln, Drew, Deshay, Arkansas counties at this current time here. And this is what we got going at this point. If you're just now tuning in, this is what we have. And we'll go ahead and zoom this down so you guys can see what's going on here. So our coverage right now has gone strictly to southeastern Arkansas. Everywhere else at this point is good to go across the area here. We are expecting additional storms later on. We'll have more on that as soon as this live stream is over. But as I said before, this is what we got going at this point. Cleveland, Lincoln, Drew, Deshay, Arkansas, and Phillips County right now, all under a severe thunderstorm warning. Also towards Dallas County as well. I'm going to go back over to our radar for just a bit. Let's go back over to our reflectivity for just a second. And there's the radar back up, okay? So there's radar at this point. You can see the line beginning to, I would say at this point, beginning to move more due east-southeast versus due south where it was before. So I think this is going to miss much of southern Arkansas here, except for our folks over here in far southeastern Arkansas. That's Cleveland, Lincoln, Drew, Deshay, Calhoun counties, Ashley, and Chico County. We'll have to watch that close as well here. But this is what we got going at this point. So you can see the line of storms kind of moving through at this current time here. So a lot of branches down in my yard in Poplar Grove. Trees and power lines down from Thursday that was taken an hour ago. That's what we have at this point. A lot of tree and power lines down. And if you're kind of tuning in, just keep in mind that we do have Energy's report. They're saying that power will not be restored until noon tomorrow. And that is the latest I've heard so far from Energy. It is going to be noon tomorrow before we can get any kind of widespread power coming back on to the natural state here. So right now we're sitting at about noon. As I said before, if you start getting more damage down here in southeastern Arkansas, you may go from noon to probably like 3 or 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. But I would definitely say, if you're watching this right now down there in southeastern Arkansas, keep your phones charged here, because this is definitely going to be a low night for you guys, especially if you have no power across the board here. Okay, so we're going to watch this closely, guys. So before, if you're just now tuning in, this is a live coverage, live severe weather coverage across the board. Severe thunderstorm warnings across southeastern Arkansas. This line has gone from all the way in far northwestern Arkansas, producing tree damage and power line damage all the way from Benton County down into Deshay County. That is over about 200 miles of difference from this line has pushed through. As a matter of fact, if you want to be technical, you could potentially call this a derecho, because it's produced tree damage, it's produced straight line wind damage all the way through Arkansas here. So if you want to be technical in a scientific way, you could call this a derecho, because this has produced 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts through the natural state all the way through here, and it's lasted for several hours here. So you could call it that if you want to. Basically, what a derecho is, it's basically what you're seeing right now on the screen here, a very straight line of strong to severe thunderstorms pushing through the area at this current time here. Okay, so let me see here. If y'all have, and also as I said before, if y'all have any questions, please let me know. This is the time for you to ask questions as well here, while we have kind of a little bit of a lull period. Right now, we are watching storms, and as I said before, we got some storms going up in Oklahoma at this point here. That's near McAllister at this time here. Let me see here. Okay, so severe thunderstorm warning over there in Oklahoma. This is a destructive storm over there, capable of producing baseball-sized hail and 70 mile per hour wind gusts with that storm here. So right now we're gonna have to watch it. I saw it's a tornado possible over there as well here, moving south at about 20 miles per hour. So that won't impact us here in Arkansas, but that is over there. That is just south of Tulsa at this current time here. So that is along Interstate 40 over there in Oklahoma at this current time here. So severe thunderstorms are continuously going, even for our folks over there in eastern Oklahoma at this current time here. But Phillips County, Arkansas County, Lincoln, Deshae, Drew, Cleveland, and Dallas County, this is what we got going at this point. I'm going to leave radar up. I am going to mute myself for a little bit, reading reports and stuff like that, so the live stream is going to go quiet. But so before, this is what we have at this point here, guys. If any new information comes up, we'll keep you guys informed. But right now, the live stream is going to go quiet. That way, you guys can watch the radar in real time and kind of get an idea on what's going on here instead of getting blown up with radar updates on the page here. So I'm going to zoom this out, show you guys what's going on statewide at this point. As said before, this line of storms has a history of producing tree damage and also power outages, across the board. Watch out down there in southeastern Arkansas. Live stream is going to go quiet for just a little bit, guys. As I said before, we'll continue to keep you guys updated right here, your source for all things Arkansas weather. Hey guys, I'm still in the live stream here. As I mentioned before, the live stream is going to go quiet from time to time as we're reading reports and stuff like that here. We're still tracking this line of storms here, but we're watching another storm that may try to get going over here in Oklahoma, that may try to make its way down into Arkansas. Right now, it's not within our viewing area at this point. That line of storm, that particular sail is moving due south at this time here, but we are going to watch that situation closely. But as I said before, once this line of storms has passed through Arkansas, we will break away from live coverage and come back if needed. There's a lot of people that are asking about what time the power is going to be restored, etc. Right now, in terms of energy, we're talking noon tomorrow. That is the deadline for everybody across the state here. There's not a specific timing for when power is going to be restored here. So noon tomorrow is the current estimated time for everybody to have their power back on per energy at this current point here. But right now, I'm currently keeping an eye on the storm that is just west of Fort Smith at this point. Right now, I will say, let me go ahead and see if I can do something real quickly so I can show you guys this real fast here. So bear with me for just a bit. Let me go back over to, it's gonna be, okay. All right, so bear with me for just a second. I'm gonna see if I can get that up for you guys at this current time here, okay? So I'm gonna take this off for just a bit, and I'm going to show you guys this graphically. Okay, so that's what's going on right now over here in western Arkansas, and I'm going to show you guys this graphically at this point. Okay, so there's a lot of storms moving through it right now, but this is the one that I'm talking about here that are starting to get going over here in western Oklahoma, eastern Oklahoma, that is making its way down into western Arkansas here. Okay, so this is what we got going at this point. Thunderstorm damage threat considerable over here, and that is going to go towards Plateau. This is in far eastern Oklahoma. This will miss the majority of the natural state unless this begins to make a due southeast turn. Right now, these are moving due south at this point here. And this is a result of that secondary round of storms trying to get going over here in western Arkansas here. So there's the new update. We're going to watch that close over here in western Arkansas. I'm going to stop radar for just a bit. All right, so there's a lot of storms over here. Let me zoom down on this real fast here, and there it is right there. There's the severe thunderstorm warning. That's going to go just outside of Scott County at this time here, okay? So we're going to have to watch this very, very closely here, guys. But this is just to the east over here in western Arkansas and eastern Oklahoma at this current point here, okay? So this is what we're watching over here. This is the severe thunderstorm warning over here that we're watching. This is west of Waldron. This is northwest of Mena at this current time here. We're going to watch that very closely over here in eastern Oklahoma and in western Arkansas here. So we're going to zoom this out, and you can see the thunderstorms kind of getting going over here. This is that second round that I was telling you guys about, and we're going to watch that very, very closely. Also, one of my forecasters, if y'all can do me a favor, please moderate the live stream at this point as well here. We're getting a lot of questions and stuff like that, guys, so please moderate the live stream as well here. But there's the second round of storms starting to get going over here in eastern Oklahoma, western Arkansas, and we're still watching that main line kind of pushing down into southeastern Arkansas at this current time here. Give me 1 second. Alright, there we go. Okay. Alright, so that's what we got going at this point. We take a look at everything right now. Okay, so we had those severe thunderstorm warnings. Also, we got a new severe thunderstorm warning that just got issued down here, and that's going to go until 6:45. That's for Calhoun and Bradley County down here. That's that ongoing line of storms pushing through down there into eastern and southeastern Arkansas. And then we have another one over here in eastern Arkansas. We're going to watch this one closely because this one is capable of producing 2-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts here. I don't think this is torpos anymore. Yeah, it's just for hail and wind over here in eastern Oklahoma and western Arkansas here. Okay, so that's what we got going at this point. We'll zoom this out so you guys get a statewide view of what's going on here. So the big line of storms that's pushed through Arkansas at this time here has surged down into southeastern Arkansas. You can see the widespread area of activity across the board. And we have another round that's trying to get going over there in Oklahoma. We're going to have to watch and wait and see what that one. But I would definitely watch that coming into Scott and into Polk County, PLK. We're going to watch that closely down there in western Arkansas and eastern Oklahoma at this current time here, guys. So, bear with me for just a bit. Let me go back over here. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Alright. There we go. Alright. So, we got that taken care of here. Okay. Alright. So, alright. Okay, alright, we're good. Alright, we're good to go. Alright, so let me see here. We'll go back over to the live stream real quickly, guys. And so forth. I know the page is kind of getting blown up with the severe thunderstorm warning, stuff like that. If y'all need radar updates, please feel free to tag into this live stream, guys. We're going to continue to keep you guys updated on the latest. So bear with me for just a bit. I'm getting new information in, by the way, as well. Power outages right now are sitting at about 52,240 people without power at this current time here, okay? So, we do have people that will go out and do that will help with storm damage as well. We do have a sponsor as well, so if you guys need that, please feel free to inbox us at this current point here, okay? So, let me see here, just going over everything right now. See here, okay, everything's basically for the majority of the state, everything has kind of calmed down at this point, but we're still watching eastern Arkansas at this current time, and we're still watching southeastern Arkansas and western Arkansas at this time here as well. This one over here in western Arkansas, I'm going to keep an eye on here, and this one right here, where you see that orange tag, that one's going to make a way for Scott and Polk County, PLK, over there in western Arkansas, and that's that Mena area, Waldron area, Highway 71. You're going to watch that storm closely. It's capable of producing baseball-sized hail over here in eastern Oklahoma here. So that tells you, one, the amount of cold air aloft, and then two, it also tells you that your environment has completely recovered from earlier over here in eastern Oklahoma and western Arkansas here, okay? So I would say, just based off what I'm seeing with guidance right now, let's take a look at something real quickly here. I'm going to go over here real fast, okay? As far as I'm concerned, I think western Arkansas is going to be your primary area for the rest of this evening. Okay, because there's the main line moving through. Okay, go over here. Give me 1 second here. Okay, so basically what happens is you see those storms start going up across western Arkansas here. There may be some additional storms trying to get going throughout the overnight hours here. But basically what's going on, cold front's moving due south at this point. So I would say from Rogers to Fayetteville to Fort Smith to Mena down towards Texarkana over here in western Arkansas, that's going to be your area of concern for the next couple of hours. Anywhere east of that point, I think north central Arkansas is practically done. I think this area over here, let's go ahead and draw this out. I think this area here from Harrison east is done. I think I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a check mark for severe weather. I think you guys are in all clear mode over here in northeastern Arkansas at this current time here, okay? But I will say over here in western Arkansas, eastern Oklahoma, northeastern Texas, this area in here, I would watch very closely for the potential of seeing more severe weather as you get towards the evening into the night. You can already see some storms trying to get going over here along Interstate 40 here at this current point here. So this area in here, I would say from now to about 10 p.m. tonight, okay? And then over here in eastern Arkansas, northeastern Arkansas, I think you guys are all clear over here. Over here in eastern and northeastern Arkansas, okay? I think you guys are all good over here in this area. That's going to go from Harrison to this area here over towards Memphis, up in the northeastern Arkansas. I think you guys are clear. You're going to have to watch this area here in western Arkansas for additional storms. And as said before, you got this main line down here in southwestern Arkansas, southeastern Arkansas that you're going to have to watch for the potential of additional wind damage down there in southeastern Arkansas as they're pushing through. We're getting a lot of reports straight line winds in Phillips County at this current time here. Please be prepared for the potential power outages across the board. Widespread 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts are being reported with these storms as they're pushing due southeast into the Monticello area here. So Stacy, I know you're probably still tuning in this live stream. I'd get ready for those storms to start rolling in the Monticello area, into Drew County, Bradley County, Calhoun, Lincoln County, over towards Ashley and Chico County. Watch those storms closely. We got another warning that just went up over here in western Mississippi. That's for the line of storms that's going to continue to move off towards the east-southeast at this time here, okay? So, as I said before, if you have anybody, and I mean anyone, that has tree damage, etc., feel free to inbox us, guys. We have a team that's going to go out. They do damage and stuff like that. They're called Local Roofing Construction. They're a very reputable, very great company that sponsors us. So they will go out and take care of the tree damage, etc. here, okay? But I want to stress that if you have that, feel free to inbox us as well. But as said before, if you're down here in southeastern Arkansas at this time here, feel free to charge your phones, guys. Keep your phones charged. We're having a lot of reports of power lines down and tree lines and tree limbs being brought down, whole trees being brought down as well. Power outage is still sitting at about 52,000 right now across the state. I'm going to read and see if we have any additional reports from National Weather Service in Little Rock, and I'm going to double check and make sure that we're good to go on this. So bear with me for just a bit. Let me go back over here to 1 second here, and we'll show you guys that real fast. It's going to go, give me 1 second here, we'll go back over to that real quickly here. Right now, I'm not seeing anything in terms of any major reports, but we're going to watch it close. Let me go back over here to the chat real fast and make sure that we're not missing anything. Okay, so so Storm Predictor has issued a massive scale discussion. Tree was brought down on Highway 36 in Debbie Lane, just south of Holland at this point. That is in Faulkner County at this current time here. Okay, so severe warning remains in effect for Bradley, Calhoun, Cleveland, Drew, Dallas, and Washita counties till 6:45 this evening. We also got another report from Pulaski County social media. A large tree has been partially blown down with large limbs knocked down. Additionally, the picture depicted a flagpole that was partially bent at the base of the radar here, guys. That is insane. We're getting a lot of damage reports from this line, guys. So I would dare say, especially if you're following this and you're a weather enthusiast, I would say that this is a derecho. I would honestly say that this was a derecho that moved through Arkansas today here, guys, because you maintained 60 to 70 mile per hour winds the entire time. It went from northwestern Arkansas to southeastern Arkansas, a very damaging line of storms moving through the natural state at this current point here, okay? So keep that in mind here. There's a lot of insane damage reports, guys, coming in from the natural state at this current point. We're also watching those storms over there in eastern Oklahoma at this current time here. Severe thunderstorm warning still remains in effect. And as said before, if you need that information, take a look at the bottom corner of your screen here. You can see the warnings kind of scrolling through your area as well here. So severe thunderstorm watch still remains in effect until 6 o'clock for central and southeastern Arkansas at this time here. Severe thunderstorm warning still remains in effect as well here, guys. So if it does the brief stop for a second, that means we're getting new information in from the National Weather Service at this point here. Okay, so we're watching this situation closely. Severe thunderstorm warning still remains in effect across the area here. Severe thunderstorm watch still remains in effect across this area until 9 o'clock this evening here across the board here. All right, so the line of storm still continues across southeastern Arkansas. This live stream is still going to continue across the board here. And as so before, if you need anybody that needs radar updates, feel free to send them our way at this current time here, guys. But we're watching the situation very closely here. This is a very damaging line of storms moving due southeast across the natural state at this current time here. Okay, so we're watching the one over there in eastern Oklahoma and western Arkansas. You see that orange tag over there? That's going to go for a thunderstorm damage threat considerable, and it's producing 2-inch hail over there in eastern Oklahoma and in the western Arkansas here. Okay, so Stuttgart, you're good to go at this point. Straight line wind damage in Phillips County, Hot Springs. I'm glad you guys made it through. Power lines down in Mount Pine Highway in Piney, Arkansas. So we're getting a lot of damage reports across those areas here, guys. So before, please continue to heed these severe thunderstorm warnings. This line is capable of producing damage, and it has history of producing damage as it's been pushing due southeast into the natural state at this current point here. So I would say the ratio at this time here, very good call from the storm prediction here and going enhanced. I would have honestly put the enhanced risk down there in southeastern Arkansas to account for this line, but I would definitely say a great call from storm predictions here, going enhanced risk for much of Arkansas for the wind threat for today here. And this is a prime example I want to talk to you guys about too, is how damaging winds could be just as bad as dealing with a tornado threat too, because notice we haven't had a single tornado warning today. We haven't had a lot of tornado warnings today. We've had a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings today, and they still produce damage. So just kind of keep that in mind at this current time here. But that's why we stress so much about the damaging wind potential, because they can still do damage, still produce tree damage, power lines down, and stuff like that, guys. So just kind of keep that in mind here. Damaging winds and hail, just as important as dealing with a tornado threat here. But this is a classic late May wind maker for us here in the natural state, kind of reminiscent of what happened back in Easter of 2020 when we had that massive line come through Arkansas, and you had power lines and and trees down across much of the natural state here. I think it's going to be kind of a rival to that event here. So definitely a massive squall line moving through southeast Arkansas right now. We're watching that storm over there in eastern Oklahoma at this point. We're going to continue coverage, and the reason why the live stream is still going is because before southeastern Arkansas, there's not a lot of coverage down there, and we want to provide coverage to the entire state. So the live stream is going to continue to go until those storms have moved out of southeastern Arkansas, and then we'll break away and we'll do radar updates as needed on the page here at this current time here. Okay, so before, this is what we got going at this current time here. We'll go ahead and zoom this down at this point, but you can see there's a lot of storms kind of moving through at this current point here. Okay, so basically, Connie, the reason why it has that is because it has both city and counties. That way people can kind of get a better understanding of where the storms are. That's the reason why it has that Cleveland County above that at this point, but that's the main threat. So yeah, northeast Arkansas is all clear. Southeastern Arkansas is dealing with the line. Western and northwestern Arkansas, you will have another line that you will have to watch as we get towards this afternoon and into the rest of this evening and into tonight here. We'll have to watch that very closely over there in western Arkansas here. But Kim, I saw that one report of over there here. They're cleaning up limbs. Got the car moved before the hail started. That's great news with that here. I would say over there in eastern Oklahoma and western Arkansas, Scott and Polk County, that's P-O-L-K, over there in western Arkansas, I would watch that storm close, because it is capable of producing baseball-sized hail over there in eastern Oklahoma here, guys. This is an insane severe threat for us here in Arkansas for today here. And here's the thing, it's not even tornado driven. It's wind. It's damaging wind and it's hail. And it still feels like we've been dealing with a severe weather outbreak for today, which technically we have been, because we've had a lot of tree damage, we've had our power lines down, etc. across the board here. Okay, so I'm going to zoom this down and show you guys what we have at this point here, southeast Arkansas. So before, I know there's a lot of people out there that's saying that you guys don't have coverage. We keep you guys informed up here. So the live stream's going to continue to go until this line has pushed through. This is a damaging line moving down into southeastern Arkansas, has a history of tree damage and power outages across the board. And speaking of power outages, we're going to go back over and take a look at the power outages real quickly. And we're still sitting at 52,000 right now here, but the majority is central, eastern, and southeastern Arkansas. Those areas have been tore up with damaging winds today, guys. I cannot stress enough about the power outages going on. So right now, nearly over 52,000 people without power right now across the board, across a bunch of central, north central, and eastern Arkansas at this current time here. As a matter of fact, I can attempt to try to pull this up for you guys here, so bear with me for just a bit. Okay, so I don't think I'm going to be able to, but basically, it basically tells you what you need to know here. As a matter of fact, one of my team members, if y'all can post the power outage map on the page, I really do appreciate it. But 52,000 people are without power across the natural state at this current time here, at this point. So for all coverage is still going to continue across the natural state here, regardless of the live stream. We're going to have coverage on the page as well here. We're still watching this very closely. We're getting pictures, by the way. I got one from Roger, Chef Cloud, in Dumas from the line of storms moving in. I mean, this is insane, guys. I mean, this thing has produced damage from northwestern Arkansas all the way down to southeastern Arkansas. So it's been a very long and tiring day for us here at Arkansas Weather Watchers here. But we're going to continue to keep you guys updated on the latest here, okay? So I'm going to zoom this out and show you guys what's going on statewide once again. So a lot of storms moving through southeastern Arkansas. We're watching this one over here. I'm gonna call this the baseball supercell over here in eastern Oklahoma that's produced baseball-sized hail along Interstate 40. We got another supercell trying to go up over here along Interstate 40 as well. All of these are moving due south, so I think they should move away from Arkansas at this point. But I'm gonna watch this one. You may see this one starting to go up. Up here in northwestern Arkansas. It's going to move towards Washington County for too much longer here. So northwestern Arkansas, watch this close. We are still expecting some additional thunderstorms to get going up there as we get towards this evening and into tonight across the area here. So not over yet, folks. I know it's been a tiring day with all the warnings, all the watches, all the updates on the page here. But unfortunately, guys, I do not think we're done with severe weather at this point here, especially for our folks out there in northwestern Arkansas. And I want to say, for the rest of the natural state, on Friday, we're going to have to watch it very closely. I'm looking at computer model, guys, while I'm having the time frame right now, kind of multitasking everything at this point. And I'm going to tell you guys this right now. I do not like what I'm seeing with computer model guidance coming up for Friday here, with our new system beginning to come in across the state. So just kind of keep that in mind here, but I do not like the system coming in as we get towards that time frame for that Friday area here. So we'll watch it closely, guys, but the slight risk still remains in effect across much of the natural state for Friday. For tonight, we have all this area here down here in southern Arkansas. We're going to have to watch with the line. And then over here in eastern Oklahoma and into northwestern Arkansas, we're going to watch as well here, guys. So southeastern Arkansas, we're going to continue to live stream until this line has passed. Once this line has passed, we're going to break away from coverage. And then we'll have radar updates and everything else on the page here, guys. Okay, so let me go over to the Storm Prediction Center's outlook for just a second. We'll take a look at something real quick. And let's take a look and see the categorical risk for today here, okay? So this is the categorical risk for today here. The enhanced risk has been kind of brought back over to western Arkansas and eastern Oklahoma. That's mainly going to go for wind and hail. The slight risk still remains in effect for much of eastern Arkansas, western Mississippi. I would have personally kept this enhanced, but this is the Storm Prediction Center. It's out of my hands at this point, but you can definitely see that line of storms kind of pushing through the natural state at this point here. So it's gone from Benton County up here in northwestern Arkansas all the way down to southeastern Arkansas at this current time here, guys. So that's the latest from Storm Prediction Center at this point. We're going to keep the live stream going until this line of storms has moved out of the area. New severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Drew, Bradley, and Deshae counties. Central Arkansas at this point, I want to say you're good, but I think we may have some additional storms that may try to get going. So just kind of watch us for updates later on. We'll watch it closely. But right now, I think the majority of this should either be in southeastern Arkansas or in western and northwestern Arkansas for the rest of this evening into the overnight hours here. And then I'm going to talk to you guys about Friday. And I'm telling you guys now, I do not like how Friday is beginning to shape up across the board here. We're going to have to watch that closely. You may see an additional risk may go out for that Saturday time frame too. It's a new front boundary that's going to try to move through here, guys. So we'll keep you guys updated on that here, okay? So before we take a look at power outages real quickly, kind of give you guys updated on that. Power outage still remains at 52,000 right now. We're getting a lot of reports in from Faulkner County. A tree has been brought down on Highway 36 up there in Faulkner County as well. So thunderstorm warning still remains for Bradley, Deshae, and Drew County until 7:15 this evening here, guys. So we're going to have this live stream still going. This live stream is going to go quiet for a little bit because I think that's all the information I have for you guys right now. But it's still going to continue until this live stream has passed through. Okay? Alright, let's move forward. Down there in southern Arkansas, southeastern Arkansas, this is where the storms are going to be pushing through this area at this current time here. So that's Calhoun, that's Bradley, that's Drew, that's Deshae County down here in southern Arkansas and southeastern Arkansas. We are watching that storm over there in eastern Oklahoma and western Arkansas at this current point, but I think personally that one may either scrape or it may go just to the west of Polk County, PLK over there in western Arkansas here. Okay, so as so before, that's all the information I have for you guys right now. This live stream is going to stay up until this live stream has been until this line has passed, and then once the line has passed, the live stream is going to cut, and then we're going to have updates on the page here in terms of what to expect for the remainder of your evening and for tonight here, guys. So if any information gets brought in, we'll let you guys know, but the live stream is going to go quiet for just a little bit because that's all the information I have for you guys right now. Stay safe, keep your phones charged. We have 3 more counties we got to get through: Bradley, Deshae, Drew, and then actually, matter of fact, 5 more counties: Bradley, Deshae, Drew, Ashley, and Chico County. We got to get through those counties, and then we will be done with this line of storms, and we'll have to wait and see what happens with the other ones, guys. Okay, so for that's all I got for you guys right now. If anything happens, I'll be breaking into this live stream, but we'll continue to keep you guys updated right here, your source for all things Arkansas weather. Hey everyone, I'm just going to kind of break in for just a little bit and talk to you guys about what's going on down here in southeastern Arkansas. I'm getting a lot of people reporting that there's sirens going off down there in Warren and the Monticello area. I'm going to kind of reassure you guys what's going on down here. This is a primarily damaging wind threat going on down here in southeastern Arkansas. There's no indication of any tornadic thunderstorm development down here or anything. This is straight line wind damage coming through the Drew and the Monticello and the Warren area at this current time here. So I just wanted to kind of talk to you guys about that. We're still in the live stream. As I mentioned before, the sound is going to go off. We're going to break in if we get new information here. But I wanted to talk to you guys about that briefly because I know there's some sirens and stuff going off over here in Bradley and Drew County, which I have no idea why they're going off. I don't know if it's for the high wind potential or what, but there's no tornadic development within this line of storms as they're pushing off towards the south and east here, folks. So just kind of wanted to get that reassurance to you guys at this point. Still continue to take shelter, still continue to get away from the windows and exterior walls because this is producing 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. But right now I don't see any tornadic development with this line of storms as it's pushing down into Drew and the Ashley and the Chico County at this current point here. I will follow up on that. If any reports get issued, we'll let you know on that at this point here. Also, we've got these other storms over here in western Arkansas. That one supercell, I mean, it is drawing ever close to Scott County, but I don't know if it's going to actually make it to Scott County or it's going to ride the Arkansas Oklahoma border, but we're going to watch that closely here over the next couple of radar scans here. And then this one out here, this one is a beast of a supercell out here, producing 3-inch hail, thunderstorm damage threat considerable, 70 mile per hour wind gusts out here just to the southeast of Seminole, Oklahoma, same area that's been just repeatedly seeing severe weather, tornadoes, very large hail over the last couple of events. Once again, back under the table once again. So I just wanted to kind of talk to you guys about that. I'm not sure why the sirens were going off in southeastern Arkansas. That could have been because of the high winds or whatever. I will follow up on it and see what's going on. If y'all have anything, please let me know. But right now, I do not see any sort of tornado development within this line of storms here. This is going to be primarily a damaging wind threat as it's pushing out towards the south and east here at this current time here. Said before, we'll break in. If anything comes up, we'll let you guys know. A follow up on the power outages as well. The power outages as it stands right now has dropped to 46,000 because the storms are leaving and energy crews are actually able to get out and work on some power lines and stuff like that. So the power is starting to come back on relatively quick. We're now down to 46,000 people without power here, but unfortunately, we're starting to see more power outages starting to increase down here in Drew, Bradley, and over towards DeShay County, guys. So, as said before, we'll continue to keep you guys updated. The live stream is going to go quiet for just that little bit here, and also I want to read you guys a couple of reports. We got one in Jefferson County, a tree knocked over on Highway 54, possibly 4 miles west of Highway 79, completely blocking the road. That's going to go from the local emergency management. Time is about around 5:15 this afternoon. So that was back up in Jefferson County near Pine Bluff at this current point here near Highway 79 up there. And also in Grant County, a business has sustained roof damage up there in Grant County at this point here. That's going to go in from 4:44 this afternoon from the storms moving through. So, as I said before, folks, this is what we got going at this current time here right now. No tornado warnings, no anything like that at this current point here. I have no idea why the tornado sirens were going off down here in Bradley and Drew County. I don't know if it's for the severe thunderstorm warnings or what, but no no tornadic weather is going on right now. We have no tornado warnings on the board at this current point here. So before, the live stream is going to go muted for just a little bit. We'll break in if conditions warrant, and we'll continue to keep you guys updated right here, your source for all things Arkansas weather. Hey everyone, as mentioned before, the reason why the sound was muted is because we're having a lot of information getting thrown in at the same time here. We're leaving the radar up for southeastern Arkansas, so that way everybody can stay updated on what's going on the radar wise. That's why you're not hearing sound. We also have that comment pinned in the live stream. That way folks in southeastern Arkansas can continuously get in coverage and stuff like that. So we're going to break in if there's new information here. Right now, other than southeastern Arkansas, we have no other severe thunderstorm warnings across the state here. Let me zoom this out and show you guys what's going on here. Now, we do have one up here in northwestern Arkansas at this point here. That's going to go for Crawford County. But the reason why this was muted is because of the fact of southeastern Arkansas with the line, and we had no new information at this point. Now, as said before, we do have the other storms that are starting to get going up here in northwestern Arkansas here. So let's go ahead and take a look at those storms here at this point here. This is going to go up here in northwestern Arkansas at this current time here. Okay, so this is going to go for southwestern Washington in Crawford County. Thunderstorm damage threat considerable. Wind 60 miles per hour. Hail size up to 1.5 inch in diameter up here in northwestern Arkansas. Okay, so this is going to be it up here. What we may do for just a brief second is go ahead and restart the live stream. That way everybody can kind of tune in at this point and getting ourselves ready for the second round here. But up here in northwestern Arkansas, there's that one storm that's going up here in northwestern Arkansas. That is in Washington County and Crawford County. This is in far northwestern Arkansas, south of Fayetteville and north of the Fort Smith area here at this point. This is moving due southeast at about 30 miles per hour. So any interest over here in Crawford County along Interstate 49, along Interstate 40, be ready for the potential of very large hail with this storm. This is almost 2-inch in diameter hail coming into northwestern Arkansas here. Okay, so monitor this very closely, guys. As said before, we're going to continue to have coverage up on our page. That's the reason why this was quiet for just a bit. It's because we had the radar up for southeastern Arkansas. Because like I said before, there's a lot of people that say they don't have coverage down there in southeastern Arkansas. This is what we got at this point. The line of storms is moving into Ashley and Chico County at this time. Once those storms are out, we're going to give everybody a statewide view of what's going on, and then we're going to have radar updates on the page at this current point here. But as I said before, the line of storms that moved through from Benton County all the way down to southeastern Arkansas now, it's now down to Ashley and Chico County at this current point here, okay? And so before, we're going to have to watch this very closely here, up here in northwestern Arkansas. We do have new storms that are going up here in northwestern Arkansas, capable of producing almost 2-inch in diameter hail up here in the northwestern portions of the state. And then we have that damaging line that has produced tree damage, power lines down, etc., roof damage, etc., has pushed down into Ashley and Chico County. Those areas, severe thunderstorm warning continues, 60 mile per hour wind gusts. For this line has a history of producing power outages and the potential of trees down. So keep that in mind if you're in Ashley and Chico County at this current time here. Also, we have no tornado warnings in place right now here. No indication of a tornado or anything like that. All of this activity down here in southeastern Arkansas is strictly damaging wind driven. This is a straight line wind threat. This is going to bring down power lines, the potential of trees, etc. This is a straight line wind threat coming into Ashley and Chico County at this current time. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and zoom down to those areas down here in southeastern Arkansas here. So, as I said before, this is coming into the Hamburg area. This is now starting to come into Lake Village. It's going to make a run for Eudora as well here. This is staying east, smack over in the El Dorado area over there in Union County. But this is going to go into Ashley into Chico County at this current time here. So you can see the squall line just surging its way down into Chico County at this current time here along Highway 65, going down from McGee down into Eudora. And then you got more severe thunderstorm winds going up over there on Highway 82 over there in Mississippi at this current time here, guys. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind here. So before, no tornado warnings are in effect right now here. We have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings down here in southeastern Arkansas, and we have one up here in northwestern Arkansas at this current time here, guys. Okay, so we're going to watch the situation closely. So before, just reported a tree fell in McGee. A tree fell in front of him. I'm glad it didn't fall on him. It fell in front of him, and before he got into Derma. Okay, so I'm hoping your son is okay, Christy. I saw that comment But as I said before, this line is still capable of producing tree damage and also power line damage as well here, guys. So please keep that in mind with these storms here. They're going to be out of here within the next hour or so. We're going to break away from live coverage. We're going to have radar updates on the page here, and then we will go live as needed throughout the evening and into the nighttime hours here. But for the majority of the state, I think you should be relatively good to go across much of the area here because of this line that pushed through and cleared out your atmosphere. But I would say watch western Arkansas for the potential of some more supercell thunderstorms going up, potential of damaging winds, hail, and as I said before, I can't rule out an isolated tornado or two with these cells that are going up. But right now, I think the hail and wind threat is probably going to be standing out a lot more than the tornado threat will be at this current time here. Okay, so as I said before, we're watching the storm here. And this one right here that was severe thunderstorm warning is going to miss Mena. This one is going to go straight down into western Polk, P-O-L-K County over here in western Arkansas. But this one is going to miss Mena by a pretty decent margin, about 5 to 10 miles to the west of Mena here. It's going to track down into Polk County here, talking Highway 71 south that goes from the Mena all the way down into Sevier County, down towards the Queen at this point here. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. If it begins to make a hard right turn, then it may impact Mena, but it's no longer severe at this current time here, okay? But the two severe storms right now, the damaging line down here in southeastern Arkansas and the severe thunderstorm warning up here in Washington and Crawford County up here. So that's going to go until 7:15. Thunderstorm damage threat considerable because of the large hail. And then down here in Ashley and Chico County, you got until 7:15 as well. That's going to go for 60-mile-per-hour winds. This line is still capable of producing damaging winds, also capable of producing tree damage and power outages as it pushes down into southeastern Arkansas here. So please keep that in mind, folks. We'll continue to keep you guys updated. Also, if you need information, please take a look at the bottom of your screen here. We have a scrolling warning system down there, so if you need information, it's going to tell you everything you need to know down there as well here, guys. We have radar up on our page and everything else. So as so before, we're going to continue to keep you guys updated. We're going to let this line get through Ashley and Chico County, and then we're going to break away from the live stream, and then we're going to actually have radar updates on the page here, etc. here, okay? So what about Phillips County, etc.? You are done. You're Tiffany, you're done. I see you over there in Lee and Phillips County. These are not thunderstorms. This is heavy rainfall going over your area here. That line has been past the Phillips and the Lee County area here. This is heavy rainfall coming into the Lee and Phillips County area. You are completely done with this point here, okay? Same thing for Lincoln County. Folks, the counties are on here. The line of storms is pushing through, okay? So much of this area is done. You are done with the severe threat. Ashley and Chico County are the only two counties right now, an exception to Washington and Crawford County, that has the potential of seeing severe weather at this current point here, okay? But I want to reassure everybody, this line is moving quickly out of the natural state. Once this line has passed you, you are done with the severe threat. We will have to watch western Arkansas, but I want to reassure everybody, you are done with the severe threat once this line has passed you. This is all heavy rainfall back out here towards Lee and Phillips County at this point here. And there may be some embedded thunder in here, but the majority of the line has gone into Mississippi and into far southeastern Arkansas at this current time here, okay? So let me take a look at something real quickly. You guys, reassurance on the power outages at this current time here. Power outages sitting at about 47,000 right now. Majority central, east central, and southeastern Arkansas with this line of storms that has came through. We are starting to get some power outages as well over here in Crawford County as well, with that supercell coming in from Oklahoma at this current time here, okay? So the latest report from the National Weather Service in Little Rock, a large pine tree that was knocked over a power line in Grant County. Sheriff's Department was dispatched to the scene. Time of the radar is about 5:02, okay? Emergency management reports tree knocked down on Highway 54. That was west of Highway 79. That was from earlier, and that was in Jefferson County. So this line still has the power of putting down trees and knocking out power as it's pushing out towards south and east here. And this line will be done within the next 20 to 30 minutes here, and then we will turn our attention over to round number 2 over here in Oklahoma. But I think the majority of this should remain over here in eastern Oklahoma, but we will watch northwestern Arkansas in western Arkansas for any cells that may try to get going over here as well. This one right here, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, almost 2-inch in diameter hail with that storm as it's pushing out towards the south and east here. So keep that in mind up here in northwestern Arkansas here. But as you can see, that's radar at this point. There's your storms coming through. I'm going to take this down just a little bit so you guys can see. All right, storms over here in eastern Oklahoma, storms over here in southeast Arkansas at this point, and also in western Mississippi at this current time here. Severe thunderstorm warnings over here in western Mississippi. These severe thunderstorm warnings are going to continue until 7:15 this evening, which is roughly about 17 minutes from now. So it should be expiring for too much longer here. Once this line has cleared, we are going to break away from live coverage, but radar updates are going to continue non-stop on the page as long as we have a threat for severe weather this evening and into tonight here, folks. And then I would say after midnight, we should be wrapping up the severe threat. Once that is done, tomorrow I will have an additional live video for you guys to talk about Friday's potential, because unfortunately we are not done with severe weather at this point here. But this is what we got going on right now. Storms in eastern Oklahoma, storms in southeastern Arkansas at this point. All are capable of producing damaging winds and hail at this current time here. Okay. Also, we have a new severe thunderstorm that just went up for Bradley County as well. I'm going to go ahead and zoom down on this one. This one is going to go, give me 1 second, it's going to go until 7:30 now. This is actually capable of producing an 1 inch in diameter hail, and also we have 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts with this storm. This is pushing down into southern Bradley County, and it's going to go into western Ashley County at this current time here. So this is a new warning that just popped up on our radar here, guys. So this is in southern Bradley County at this point. Let's go ahead and zoom this down at this current time here. And also, I saw that one question about it going northern Louisiana. Yes, to an extent. I think this is going to go to northeastern Louisiana versus northern Louisiana, because you can see the line of storms is non-existent over here in southwestern Arkansas. I would say it was probably going to go through Crossett. It's going to go through Lake Village, Eudora, down into Bastrop, and down into Lake Village at this current time here. And then to kind of ease some minds in terms of those that are wondering about the tornado threat or whatever, we don't have much going on across the board in terms of the tornado threat. No rotation being indicated on radar, which is great news, but this does tell me that you have the potential of seeing damaging winds and hail with these storms here as they push out towards the east here. So in terms of the tornado threat, very, 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 very low, if we even have a tornado threat at all for the remainder of the evening into the night. If any warnings get issued, we will be here. So matter of fact, let's take a look at the tornado threat real quick. Let's go over here real fast. In the tornado threat, they still had the 5% over here in Oklahoma down into western Arkansas. We'll have to watch this close. But the majority of the tornado threat, as you can see, is gone from much of northern Arkansas. This should be removed as well from the storms that moved through earlier. But this area over here is going to be the area you're going to have to watch later on for that tornado threat, for that 5%. But the tornado threat over here is a little bit better, given that the cells are by themselves versus a line of storms down here, which is going to be primarily your damaging wind threat. So no tornado threat here. An isolated tornado threat could be possible over here in western Arkansas. We'll watch it close, but I wouldn't solely watch the tornado threat. We have to watch for damaging wind and hail potential as well here. And any thunderstorms that do get going over here will have to be watched as well, because they will be capable of producing additional damage. And you got to remember something: in these areas, they've had a lot of power outages over here in northwestern Arkansas from the storms that went through earlier. So you just gotta have to watch that very closely over the next couple of hours here. Any storms that get going, especially in the environment over there in western Arkansas, can easily go severe, and it could really hurt that power outage situation over there in northwestern Arkansas as well here. So we're going to go back down to southeastern Arkansas at this point. You can see up there in northwestern Arkansas as well. Multiple areas of storms coming through across northwestern Arkansas and western Arkansas, and then over there in southeastern Arkansas, you got the line of storms moving due south at this current time here across this area, guys. And so forth. That's all I have at this point. everybody that's just now jumping in, the Ward area, okay? Now, so for these storms are moving due southeast, okay? They're moving away from Arkansas. So we're about to be done with a line of storms across the natural state at this current time here. But we are going to have to watch western Arkansas very closely here. The Ward area in central Arkansas, you are done. You are done with the severe threat. We'll have to watch with western Arkansas, see what those storms do later on. But I think central Arkansas, you should be relatively done with the severe threat here. And as I said before, we do have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings starting to go up here in northwestern Arkansas. These storms are starting to move due southeast, so we have to wait and see on what happens here. But the problem is, in this area, you just had a line come through, so your environment is relatively stable across this area here. But we'll keep an eye on it. Northwest Arkansas, you've had more time to recover versus central, and plus we do not have daytime heating anymore, so it's going to be very difficult to get the instability to climb right back up across the area. But we're going to have to watch it closely. But new severe thunderstorm just got issued for northwestern Arkansas. That's going to go for Madison, Crawford, and Washington counties until 7:45 this evening. This one over here is going to go until 7:15. So thunderstorm near northwestern Crawford, southwestern, Washington, northeastern Sequoia, and eastern Adair counties over here in Oklahoma and northwestern Arkansas here. You're going to watch these storms. These are hail producers, and the potential of damaging wind over here in northwestern Arkansas. These are not tornadic at this point, but we will keep an eye on it. We'll let you guys know if anything changes here at this current time here. Radar updates are going to continue on the page here, but as soon as this live stream is over, we're going to break away. That way, when we go live again, everybody will be able to get notification, and they'll be able to join into the live stream at this point here. Okay, so this is what we got going. Multiple severe thunderstorm warnings down here in southern Arkansas and southeastern Arkansas. Once that line of storms has passed, you should be good to go down there in southeastern Arkansas. We'll have to wait and see what happens throughout the overnight hours here. Okay, so what about that 4 to 6 a.m. time frame down there in southern Arkansas? That's what I'm saying. Down here in southern Arkansas and southwest, that's where you're going to have to watch and wait and see on what happens with the severe threat as we get towards later this evening and into the overnight hours here. As we get into the overnight hours, the environment should start to calm down a little bit, and that will help kind of get away from the severe threat. However, we'll watch it closely. If anything happens during the overnight hours, we'll keep you guys informed here at this point here, guys. But I want to stress that the damaging wind and hail threat is going to be much greater than any tornado threat for today here. We'll watch western Arkansas very closely, but right now I think the tornado threat is going to be very, very low across the board. Damaging wind and hail definitely is going to be your primary threat as we get towards the afternoon into this evening here. But as I said before, we are going to break away from live stream in just a little bit as soon as this line passes through Ashley and Chico County. That doesn't mean radar updates are going to stop. We're going to have radar updates on the page. Also, if anything occurs, we will be back live as well here, but we want to kind of give everybody a chance to kind of join in at this point, because we've been live for almost 4 hours now going over severe weather across this board here. We do appreciate y'all for tuning in. Okay, so great question from Amanda. What about clearing for the lunar eclipse? Based off what I'm seeing right now, I can take a look at satellite imagery for just a bit and see what's going on in terms of that, in terms of the cloud cover. But I'm going to tell you now, with the storms that are moving over northwestern Arkansas, they are going to create more cloud cover. So we're going to have to wait and see on what happens with that. But I could take a look and see how it's going to be going. Now, I would say down in southern Arkansas, it's going to be very debatable on what happens down there. There's still a good amount of cloud cover. I think the best shot of seeing the lunar eclipse tonight is going to be in northern Arkansas. I mean, that's going to be the best shot of seeing it. It's going to be across northern Arkansas. Unfortunately, central and the rest of the natural state, you got a lot of cloud cover across the board right now. You may get lucky in isolated areas and localized areas, but right now you got a lot of cloud cover, and you can blame this line of storms that move through for the cloud cover here. You got additional storms that are just developing out here in eastern Oklahoma right now here. All are supercell thunderstorms that are getting going over there in eastern Oklahoma at this current time here. So we'll watch the situation closely. As you can see, there's a new severe thunderstorm warning that just went out for northeastern Louisiana and also far western Mississippi along the Mississippi River. Once this line has cleared Ashley and Chico County, we will break away from coverage. radar updates are going to continue, and if needed, we will come back on live and give you guys another update on what's going on across the board here. Okay, so we're going to take this down, show you guys what's going on. As I said before, there it is down there in southeastern Arkansas. As soon as those storms have pushed through, we are going to break away from live coverage, but that does not mean live streaming is going to stop. That doesn't mean radar updates are going to stop at this point here. But Amanda, I hope that answered your question about the lunar eclipse here. I think the best shot's going to be up there in far northern Arkansas for tonight. Everybody else, unfortunately, that line moved through. You still got a lot of cloud cover in place across the natural state at this current time here. Okay, so let me see here. Just going over everything right now. Okay, I think that's it in terms of all the questions. Okay, all right. And as I said before, we're going to watch the situation closely. We're getting new updates regarding the power outages as well. Still sitting around 47,000 power outages right now. Also, local officials have reported several trees and power lines down near County Club Road and Ford Brown Road in Brinkley. That is in Monroe County in Brinkley over here in eastern Arkansas. So just a lot of reports, guys. I mean, there's a crazy ton of reports of trees down, roofs being damaged, power outages, etc. A true damaging squall line moved through Arkansas for today. And so before, we're going to have more footage and stuff like that throughout the evening into the overnight hours as well. But you can see where this is going here at this current time here. Okay, so I think we are pretty good right now. It's over Ashley and Chico County. It will be leaving out of Ashley and Chico County within the next 5 minutes. So we are going to go ahead and break away from live coverage. Radar updates are going to continue on the page until as needed. And as said before, I may do another live update probably around your 10 o'clock time frame to kind of see where we are, or unless conditions warrant. But I will say, we leave you guys off with this up here in northwestern Arkansas from Washington to Crawford County. This is up here. This is where your hail threat is going to be at this current point. Let's go ahead and take a look at that real fast here. That's going to be your maximum, your mean estimated hail size up here. And you can see right there in southwestern Washington, northwestern Crawford County, about 2-inch diameter hail with this one. You got almost 2-inch diameter hail with that one as well here, and that's within that storm that's kind of right there on the border. So watch this closely. If you're in Crawford County, move your car inside of a garage if it's possible, or try to cover up your car as possible. Get away from the windows and get away from the exterior walls. Very large hail will be possible with the storm as it's pushing out towards southeast here. This is not tornadic, but it will be capable of producing 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and also the potential of large hail as well here as they push out towards southeast here, guys. So, as said before, we've been live for a little over 3 hours now. That line of storms have pushed down into southeastern Arkansas and down to northeastern Arkansas. So we're going to leave you guys off with that. We'll continue to keep you guys updated right here, your source for all things Arkansas weather.